And we are live. What's up, guys? Special guest, man. I'm going to have them introduce themselves.
So listen, man, we're in Colombia and doing a podcast. Met some girls. It's been a lot of fun. So they might know me, but they don't know you. So just introduce yourself. What's your name?
Yeah, thanks, Walt. Yo, when SNEAKO shows up, get SNEAKO on the pod.
That's SNEAKO. He's a leaf in the wind.
Yeah, good to see you, Walt.
I know I'm not on the panel, he's not on the panel right now, but yeah, so...
if future advice for future shows, you should let Myron get a word in. You just dominate all the podcasts. He never gets to talk.
Well, I look at Myron, and I'm thinking that he's thinking about this, and sometimes I just let him speak, so... Join my network.
All right, thanks, Walt. Anyway, my name is Casey Redbeard. I'm Redbeard Rants on YouTube, and I'm an expert with online dating. Not only for myself, I've created a rock star dating life for myself, all through online. So basically Instagram, which is the best dating app in the world, and I do it for my clients as well.
Nice. Jewel, aka the Sartorial Shooter. Good friends of everybody here, and here to represent the Tate brothers in the war room as best I can. Cheers, mate.
Sweet. So I'm happy to have you guys. I know you guys are probably wondering where's Fresh right now. I think he's stuck in traffic somewhere. They went hiking. So yeah.
Are we sure he's not kidnapped?
Huh?
Are we sure he's not kidnapped?
Nobody's going to kidnap Fresh.
Have we had proof of life recently?
I think
he's alive. I saw his IG stories. He's somewhere out in the mountains.
He left the jewelry at home, so...
Yeah, that too.
I do have to say, like, I can't imagine a Fresh and Fit show without Fresh, because it can run. But imagine a Fresh and Fit show without Myron. Would it work?
It could work, man. He's done it before, man.
He has?
He's done it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's done it before.
W Fresh. Okay. Beat it to me.
You want to introduce yourself now?
Yeah. SNEAKO, rumble.com/SNEAKO. I got some good videos on the way. A lot of lifestyle content. I'm going to be back to streaming soon as I get back to Miami.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can knock one out while you're here in Colombia.
I want to, yeah.
Yeah, we could do one. We got the setup here. We could do it on Rumble and everything. We're actually going to do the stream on his Rumble as well, but we didn't have the password and everything in time, so it is what it is. Right?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Something like stuff. But
stuff.
I'll be back soon.
Yeah, he'll be back soon, guys. So I'll just turn it over to you guys, man. So we've been here in Medellin for a few days. We had an after-hour show yesterday. We had to kick out some annoying chick that was trying to start some crap.
Franco Castillo.
Yeah, Franco Castillo. I put the thing in Spanish, by the way, too.
Francisco.
Yeah, I put the title in Spanish, Horror Meets Frank Castle. And yeah.
The comments are loving that title. I
had to ask one of the Colombian girls, hey, how do I say horror in Spanish without it being too obvious? But anyway, what are your guys' thoughts on Colombia so far? I know some of you guys have been here. Well, me and SNEAKO, it's our first time. You guys have been here before. So I guess, SNEAKO, what's your first thoughts on it? What do you
I got to walk around quite a bit. Myron's just been working really hard. There's a big studio behind the scenes that you guys can't see. He's been here. But I had the chance to walk around a little bit yesterday and get a sense of the place and everything. Played some soccer with some kids. Got to speak to some people last night. We went out to some nice restaurants so far. Sartorial.
The food in this city is no joke, man.
Really good.
Really good.
Really good and really cheap too. I paid for lunch, I think the first day we got here, 8 people, all these steaks, and it was $80 US.
Yeah.
It's really funny too because the currency is like millions. Yeah. So it's just like 35 million. Yeah. And you think that I'm a trillionaire in Colombia, actually.
It's funny, even a couple months ago was even way cheaper, like a year ago. It's like quadrupled in price. Every gringo wants to come here to escape the West, and we're gentrifying the fuck out of this place. It is like... Yeah, 50% to 100% more expensive now than what it was a year and a half ago.
Gotcha. And you've been here for how long now?
7 years, going on 7 long years, yes.
Well, yeah, how have you liked it?
You know, ups and downs, man. I had some interesting stuff here. I do parties here, and one thing about Colombia is, I'll say this, 90%, so the people who live here in this city called Medellin are called paisas. I know paisas can mean other things, other contexts, but in this sense, paisa just means you are born in Antioquia, Medellin, which is where we are. And about 90% of them are just fine, dandy, good people. And then a good 10% of them just do not like foreigners. They just don't date gringos at all. Actually, even on the panel last night, we asked all the girls if they prefer dating Colombians or gringos, and out of like 10 girls,
gringos?
Yeah, all of them said
most of them said,
all of them said Colombian
yeah.
guys, which is kind of surprising.
So they meet the right gringo.
I will say
the
for
right
like
Westerner.
the small percentage of girls here that do like to date gringos, say it's 20 to 20, I'm talking like fresh here, 20 to 25% of the girls likes gringos. With those girls, we have like a hyper advantage. It's like extra easy with those girls. Those are like, they're actively like looking for us and dating us. But the other 80%, believe it or not, are not into gringos. So you think you're gonna just come off a plane and get here and start dating 9s and 10s when you get off the airport? That's not the case at all. It's still, kind of a competitive dating market for the top girls.
Jules, do you think it's worth finding a wife in South America? Do you think it's possible?
I mean, I think it's a tricky one. For me, you need to clarify exactly what you're looking for in your wife. And if you're looking for what I call wife material, it's going to be a very religious woman. It's going to be a woman who is aware of the fact that her body is a sacred thing and shouldn't be shared around widely. And I see Western culture as being directly opposed to that. So my question would be, and maybe you're the man to answer this, how much has Western culture infected the minds of the women in this part of the world? That answer would then inform whether or not there's wife material girls here. That would be my view, brother.
Less than most places in the world, to be honest. It's everywhere. There's, short, blue-haired feminists with piercings and tattoos. They have those here. It's just way, way less. You're not going to escape that Western feminist influence anywhere in the world that I'm aware of, at least. But it's much lower here. And I was telling this to you, I think the other night. There are those extremely beautiful, educated English-speaking girls here in Colombia and Medellin, but they typically don't mess with gringos. And just being a gringo on Tinder, you're gonna get targeted more for the grillas and interesadas. That's like the gold diggers, the skanks. So it's a bit harder here as a gringo. Now, if you live here, you establish a life here, you learn the language. Yeah, if you learn the language, then it's absolutely possible, to find a good girl.
Do Myron and I count as gringos?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Gringo just means foreigner from America.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a bit of a debate on this, but yeah, gringo just Canadian, European. They'll argue like, no, it just means American. Canadians aren't gringos, but yeah, foreigners. Let's just say foreigners.
Okay.
Fair enough. Joel, what do you think about the, obviously you've been instrumental in us making sure that we're safe out here. You're a big reason why I'm even here, because that was a big thing. I was like, oh man, I don't know if I want to go because of
Well, you're a public
concerns.
figure, bro, and it's clear from your Instagram you've got some money as well, so that makes you a target, 100%.
Yeah, so what's your thoughts on, because you've been here multiple times, how should someone move here? What's the security like? Has it changed significantly since you were last here? How should people prepare if they want to come here?
Okay, so in terms of assessing the security risk levels of this country, I'd put it as a medium, with somewhere like Somalia being an extreme, then you'd have Pakistan being a high. I'd put Colombia as a medium, but also it's got sharp edges. It's a friendly place, go out and drink, but things can get bad really quickly. The key approach is risk avoidance. Consciously choose the locations you're going to and consciously choose the times at which you're going to those locations and make those choices based on both research of the risk environment, so you can check the government websites to see what you should and shouldn't do, but what's key is local knowledge. Having a man like this who can brief you is ideal. If you don't have that, have a chat to your host at an Airbnb, have a chat to the concierge at a hotel, understand how tourists are being hit in that month, because crime trends change. The way I do it, I'm lucky enough to have staff. So I have security staff with the security companies that I'm involved in, and they take me around. And because I'm the boss, they take good care of me. So for me, it's easy mode, and I can extend that to my friends.
Yeah.
But what I say is, anyone traveling to a country like this, get on a government website and have a read about the way tourists are being targeted. Utilize local knowledge, and just don't be in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's a lot better to not need heavy security and guys with guns and all these things, just by being smart about where you put yourself in certain situations.
Gotcha.
Don't display wealth. It's an easy one. Understand that there are spotters at the airports. There are spotters at the hotels. There are spotters. Those guys who are standing there selling things by the side of the road, how much money do you think they make from selling something on the road? How much money do you think they make from saying, hey, in this Uber with this number plate, there's a guy wearing a nice watch? I mean, that's what I would do if I was working there.
Yeah.
That'd be my side hustle.
Yeah.
So just be aware of the fact that you have a lot of wealth. This is a country where people don't have wealth. And there's some bad guys here. There's some threat actors here who... you look at Colombian history, this was a bad country. This was a high-risk environment not that long ago.
Yeah.
Longest-standing civil war in history.
There you go. So not only is there a lot of weapons, there are a lot of guys who know how to use those weapons, who are prepared to get kinetic, to get in someone's face, to get some wealth. So, yeah, you do need to be very conscious of the way you carry yourself in this part of the world. And also, just roll the way men are meant to roll. Have a big group of guys. Ideally, some of you don't drink and keep a level head. Make sure you're not getting, what's that thing where they mess with your mind?
The drug scopolamine.
Yeah,
I want to talk about that after.
Yeah,
excellent. So let's go on to that. If you're rolling as a group of guys who are capable and who are looking after each other, that's another very important way to do it as well. Over to you with the scopamine thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and tell them some things to watch out for, and then the specific ways to get hit. Sorry, go ahead.
Drop some local knowledge, bro.
Like he was saying, having a guy who knows the lay of the land, a local who's been here, a lot of experience here. So
Real quick, Casey, guys, give me ones in the chat if the audio is good. It should be good. I calibrate all the mics. I want to make sure they really hear what you're about to say, because this is important. This is really life-saving stuff, right? Yeah. So give me ones in the chat, guys, if the audio is good. I just want to make sure that...
So there's a drug called scopolamine. I'll let you just... Yeah, we're good. Okay.
We're good to go.
Yeah,
Go
there's
ahead,
a drug
Casey.
called scopolamine here where they put it into your drink, and once you drink it, you more or less will be open to doing anything they say. So if I scope you, if I put scopolamine in your drink, I say, hey, shooter, it'd be a great idea if you put on a chicken costume and go dance around the streets. Oh, mate, it's a great idea. Why didn't I think of that?
So basically, it turns you into a simp.
Yeah.
Scary.
Worse. So I know stories of
Casey,
like,
keep it close to you.
Oh, yeah. I know stories, friends of guys who they'll say like my friend came and he got scoped. A girl put scopolamine in his drink. Usually Tinder girls. They're all over Tinder looking for vulnerable gringos. And the guy gets scoped, and then just horror stories. 200K in crypto, gone.
Yeah.
And it's funny here, I can't even use my own goddamn Capital One credit card half the time. It's like, I know, like I can verify what street I grew up on and what my, last four of my social. I can't even use my credit cards here half the time. If these guys, scope you and get your passport, your wallet, your phone, they'll unlock it. They have like friends in banks in like Miami, because everybody here in Colombia has family in Miami and whatnot. They have friends at the banks who will like let these go through, or however they do it. So that's one thing. And like of the guys that I know that got scoped, all of them say, man, I wish somebody would have told me. All the red flags were there. I met her on Tinder. Yeah. She said she didn't have an Instagram. It seemed too good to be true. She wanted to come straight over to my house to drink. And had somebody like me just told you that, like, man, it has every red flag. And then also they're getting like young, good-looking guys too. It used to be just fat simps.
So Cardi B got her training here.
They have a university.
That's why they come down here.
Scope U is.
But also globally, what is the #1 way men bring risk into their lives?
Yeah, women.
I mean, and then we can even talk about the situation with the Tates, just by being a friendly, hospitable guy and letting in, lots of women come in for parties. And you said you do parties. Yep. How do you manage risk with the parties? Because the idea of bringing in a lot of random women, that terrifies me, bro. I would never do that as a security professional. Like, how do you manage that?
Yeah, well, 2 strapped security guards for one. So when the girls walk in here, the first thing they see is a tall, mean, ugly-looking motherfucker with a gun on his hip.
Okay, that'll help.
Because they may be ready to call their cousins back in Bayo. Bayo's like kind of like a ghetto neighborhood, and they may be ready to call the boys back in Bayo, like, hey, there's 90 gringos in a penthouse, all of them got an iPhone. What's 90 times, $800 per phone? That's a shitload of money. So yeah, first thing they do is they see 2 mean security guards with guns. And going on what you were saying earlier about, travel with men and stuff, I'm more, aware. I'm orders of magnitude more aware than any gringo traveling here. And I get pickpocketed. It's happened twice. Over 7 years, it does happen.
That's a big thing here is pickpocketing.
Yeah, we talked about that. And then another friend of mine he didn't get scoped, but I think some girls just got him really drunk, or maybe put like a Xanax or a sleeping pill. Anyway, he got robbed. And he's like a good looking guy, not a simp, not a weirdo, not some unaware person. So now when we go out, I'm like, listen, and we were both there, like when he got drugged and when I got pickpocketed, we were both like in the vicinity. I said, hey, listen, that time that I got pickpocketed, not your fault at all. 100% my responsibility. When you got drugged, 100% your responsibility, not mine. But from now on,
learn from it. Yep.
It is my responsibility if you get drugged, and it is your responsibility if I get pickpocketed. None of this like, I'm texting and managing my business from my phone as I'm walking, and no, eyes ahead, like we're in the third world. Yeah. So as you said, it's the brotherhood. We all watch each other.
I think it's much better. I've traveled the world with women, and we were traveling now like a group of, there's like 8, 9 guys of us here. We don't really interact with women besides like
one of them's a monster sitting behind the camera. Shout out to the Warner.
We walked around
that's what you call a security deterrent, right there. My brother.
It seems kind of foolish now to be walking around with 1 or 2 girls when you could have a group of guys, especially when it's a high risk like this. But I would say, like, when it comes to traveling, like, you should definitely have an objective. You shouldn't just go in blindly as a tourist. You're going to be easily scoped out, and then you're going to waste a lot of money. Everyone's going to know why you're there.
Was that a clever pun? You're going to be scoped out?
Oh, yeah. Well,
for both, both ways.
It was intentional.
With the scope mean and with this being scoped out.
Yeah. So I would say travel with a group of guys. But also, I was learning from Jewel how important it is to have locals who know exactly what's going on, which restaurants to go to. Instead of like, I used to travel and then like go to the tourist spots, immediately look at Google Maps or like look at a Yelp or something like that and just go immediately to the popular places. But that's where you're going to get scoped. That's where people are going to be able to target you. But only you're just going to get a worse experience when you're traveling. The experience that you want traveling are exactly from the locals, directly from the people who live in this place. You're going to be able to skip all the lines. You don't have to interact with the tourists. You want to get that real experience immediately.
And I'm at the point now where I won't travel somewhere unless I have my staff or third parties that I've interacted with from a professional sense, where I can make a phone call and someone can contact relevant authorities and say, hey, we need proper support here immediately. And I mean, that comes with my line of work. But even let's say you don't have that sort of professional infrastructure globally, you should still be in, whether it's CEO network or War Room or some kind of global membership where, yeah, we've got trusted brothers in that city. We've got trusted brothers in this city. If I'm rolling with you and you've been here for 7 years, you speak the language, you know all the good spots, time is our most valuable thing. I've got 1 week. I can figure out some nice spots, or I can go with you who says, this spot, this adventure, this motorcycle thing, this jet ski thing. By the way, you're going to get ripped off this way, ripped off that way. Yeah. You need
like
that local knowledge.
Yeah.
Traveling without local knowledge and without your boys is an opportunity missed. It's an inefficient way to try and get the most out of your days. I don't do it ever.
Aside from just the security and safety stuff, it's just boring not to travel.
It is.
With your
Yeah, true.
I would rather be in a 4 out of 10 city with all my boys than a 10 out of 10 city alone.
Well said, 100%.
100%. Because a lot of traveling, you're just going to be you're going to do tourist traps that you could do anywhere.
Same stuff.
When you go to the resort and any destination, it's the same experience you get in Thailand and Colombia. It's exactly the same, but you want to be with people. For example, last night we were walking back from the hookah spot. I took an Uber, so I didn't get to partake. But this is something that we've done. We've traveled a lot, Jewel. And you guys saw a gym just randomly, like some outdoor gym. And we're leaving the hookah spot. They all jumped over the fence and then just got some quick push-ups and dips in, did some pull-ups, and then just get right back to the B&B.
Yeah, we broke into the gym at midnight to get a lift in. Yeah.
That's the type of experience that you can't have if you're traveling with your family or if you're traveling with girls. You're not going to be able to maximize your time. And I think it's extremely important when you're traveling. You want to get off the plane and just maximize and be able to do as much as you can. If you're with people who are going to be slowing you down, like women or like older family members.
Yeah.
No, it is, because women.
No, it's true.
Women need to pee every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Where's the bathroom? And then it's
and they don't even drink water. That's the crazy part.
They don't drink. Well,
Wow, that's a good point. Why do they need to pee so much if they don't even drink
They don't
water?
drink water, bro. They don't drink water. Andrew made a video on that shit. I was like, what the?
Shout out to the top
true.
G. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah,
you guys are
man.
really hanging around women who don't drink water?
So, not the way men drink.
Yeah,
that
not the
was
way that we
Andrew's
drink
point.
water.
Yeah.
Your women don't drink water?
Not much.
Bro,
Bro. I gotta
watch
tell them
the
to
video,
drink.
man.
shit.
There's truth there.
Yeah, they might drink juice, but like, I mean,
Limonada de coco?
I tell them like drink water, and they'll be like, oh.
The idea being men are constantly hydrating, right?
Yeah.
And Andrew's premise was that you don't really see women proactively hydrating
When he
all the
said
time.
that shit, I literally was like, bro, I was like mind blown. I was like, bro, this is so true. Like women don't fucking drink water. They don't. They just don't.
They're such a liability.
That's
to
what I've
travel
learned.
with.
Yeah, no, they can. Yeah, they can be. Yeah.
But also, let's go back. Let's go to many cultures today, that have some risk. Let's go back a couple hundred years ago. Why would you be traveling with women? It's a new thing to think that this is the norm. The norm for all of human history, and indeed in many countries today, the women stay where it's safe because they aren't able to defend the way that we defend.
That's so true.
And the men go out and do masculine stuff. So I don't know why you'd be if you want to have adventures, if you want to get the most out of life, and also with business. Why would you not be rolling with your boys? It's adult boy stuff. Go do it with men. That's my view.
Yeah, they are a liability a lot of the times. I mean, if you really think about it, and it's only been in modern day times that like women have been able to travel alone on their own with this.
This is on YouTube, not Rumble. Are we allowed to say these things? I don't want to get you in trouble, man.
It's fine, man. You can say what you want.
There's a lot of truth here. You can be careful with truth nowadays.
Yeah, it's okay. We
Shout out
can
to
talk
Rumble.
about them being a liability. I think that's good. I think that's fair enough.
All right.
You should have more fun when you're traveling. Myron is just constantly working. There's a bridge that you need a gap where it's just like masculine excellence all the time, and then this dude is just constantly with all these lights, being autistic with the chords and everything. Like he's just like focused in. We went shooting yesterday. I think it was great. We went up the mountain. We all went running up and down, and my shot's pretty good. I was excited about that. But Myron is just here doing exactly the same thing in Medellin that he does in.
Because if I didn't, we wouldn't have been able to do the show yesterday. So.
You did make it happen, technically.
But you need to enjoy life too.
Shout out to Casey. He helped me get a lot of the equipment. Some stuff I didn't have, so he helped me get some wires and everything like that. But yeah, dude, if I didn't do it, like
on
if
that
I went to go
topic,
shoot with you guys, we wouldn't have been able to do a show.
when did you guys go on that big boat in Miami? Was that your 1 million celebration?
Yeah.
But not. There was like a kind of recent one, and then there was one like a year before that. One of those.
The last one I went to was the 1 million one.
Anyway, one of these like yacht big celebrations freshmen did in Miami. I left a comment, an Instagram comment. It's like Myron like trying his best to have fun, and he's drinking a little bit. And
Oh, yeah, that was last time
he's just like, oh God, I should be thinking of content ideas and buying more microphones and
This interview isn't about me.
I
Fuck y'all.
left a comment that said, watching Myron trying to have fun in a social setting is watching a turtle try to fly. And I still get likes on that comment to this, like every day I get a couple notifications, so-and-so has liked your comment. But no, I mean, you built an impressive amount of wealth, real estate portfolio. You're
I appreciate
number
that,
one.
guys.
What?
No, I appreciate that, but I'm
Yeah,
not special. This interview is about y'all. Fuck me. Don't worry about me.
No, but also that's a nice way to deflect, a very clear deflection. Well, what is the goal, brother? Like, I admire your professionalism. You work hard, and anyone I've seen in this space, your professionalism, your focus every day is incredible. At what point is it a certain number? Or is it a certain amount of properties? At what point do you go, you know what, I've made it? Because look, I can understand. I worked non-stop for a good 15 years in some of the most dangerous places in the world to get to a point where I thought, you know what, I'm going to allow myself to actually enjoy life and have some experiences, adventures with the lads and so on.
Yeah.
What's your point? What's your number? What are you working towards?
Myron's the type of guy who just enjoys work.
Thanks, Myron.
He gets it now, but I figured it out. Like analyzing him and traveling around, he just doesn't really want to go jet skiing. Stuff like fun stuff isn't fun to him. He thinks it's gay. He literally thinks that that fun stuff is gay. So if he's not focused in working and plugging in the cords, and, like working on the lights, then he's confused. So
Watch a UFC fight with your boys. Gay.
It's not even about the pursuit of more. It's just the fact that he's so trained in to work. That's where he's happy.
Appreciate that. So in this chat, you've been both fresh and fit.
Yeah.
Can we have Myron?
No, he's correct. I mean, I spent a significant amount of time with this fucking loser. So yeah, he is correct. Because I'll hit that number. Because I said this to myself like years ago. I'm gonna hit that number, and I'm like, oh, I gotta keep going. So, you know, I genuinely do enjoy working. I enjoy doing the show. I enjoy talking with people. I enjoy being able to sit down and have a conversation with you guys right now and us chopping the shit. And like, it's a blessing to be able to sit down and talk with you guys in beautiful, you know, Medellin and have a bunch of people watching us and enjoy the conversation. I think that's a W in itself.
Do you think on your deathbed you may regret having not enjoyed a bit more in terms of, you know, adventures with the lads or going shooting or these sorts of things?
Talking to you losers is what I enjoy. So I love it, man.
It's like social and work. So it's like a social thing. He's talking to us, but if it wasn't being recorded, he wouldn't be having fun. So we could have fun.
No.
We have great chats off camera. We have great chats off camera.
I would say crazy shit. Well, you know this.
Yeah, you know crazy shit.
Yeah, we're not on Rumble.
Just to pick on him a little bit.
But your
more.
people. Never mind. We're on YouTube.
We're on YouTube. We're on YouTube.
Hey! Don't speak so badly against redheads, all right?
Nice to flag. You have hair to be a redhead.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Redbeard.
the only negative about being friends with Myron, you know, loyal guy, inspiring, hard worker, all that. But the only negative I will say about being friends with him is you can't get a hold of this fucker. I was trying to get a hold of him just to call him to tell him I have a free penthouse for you when you arrive in Colombia, and I'm running guys' dating apps. I'll run yours for free. When you land, I'll have 19,000 Tinder matches in a CRM for you to choose which ones you like that I've been flirting with for the last week, primed to go with you. And then he gets here, we're in the car, and he's like, I didn't know we had a free penthouse. Why didn't you tell me? I didn't know you were running guys' day. Why didn't you? I'm like, motherfucker, you're all working all the time.
I didn't know.
I can't even get a hold of you.
But I am going to use, guys, just so you know, I am going to use Casey's service for that. He's going to run my Tinder, Hinge, and Bumble. So, yeah. Would you basically like message, you help people
find
with
the girl, swipe the girl, chat them up for a day and a half, and then when she's ready to go on a date, pass it off to you for scheduling to go on the date. But yeah, I couldn't even, he didn't even know I had him a free penthouse. Couldn't even get a
I didn't know that. And thank you for that, by the way.
No, you're welcome.
Shout out to you and shout out to Shooter for setting this all up, because like I said before, without y'all, I wouldn't be here. So, but this isn't about me, motherfuckers. This is about y'all.
Mad respect to the professionalism and the hustle, bro.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
You stand out in your field. I've recently, going loud to support Tate, I've interacted with a lot of YouTubers. Nobody works like you do, man.
And that means a lot coming from you,
but
man.
it's true. No, objectively, no one has the standards, professional standards that you've set for yourself. It's incredible to see, bro, every time I interact with you.
And it means a lot coming from you, especially as a professional yourself. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Have a big task with making sure that the Tates are good and everything else like that. Very important job. So,
a little workout, inshallah. A little workout.
No, they're definitely, everybody knows it's BS. And actually, I read the lawsuit. They had a lawsuit against, you know, that piece of shit chick that's you know, that made the accusations, whatever, for $5 million. And I read it. It was very well written. And yeah, dude, this girl's been doing this forever. For some of you guys that don't know, this woman that made the accusations, she done this to 7 other people. You know what I mean?
That's just those who are prepared to come forward.
Yeah,
now,
those are the ones that came forward.
Indeed, I don't represent the Tates legally. I'm not a lawyer. I'm their friend. I'm not Andrew's manager. I'm sick of people saying that. You try and manage Andrew. You try and manage Tristan. I'm sorry.
I'm sure he takes orders very easily.
Oh my goodness, what a joke. But what I can say is, as this trial goes on, more and more of these people who've just decided in their minds that the Tates are bad and they're guilty, it's going to be hard for them to accept, because the truth is there. And all these experts, all these independent journalists and so on, you don't know what you're talking about. The truth hasn't come out yet, and it will, because now that we're going through the judicial process and there is a trial, the truth about the people who are making these allegations and the complete lack of credibility, it's even inverse credibility. They are career false claim makers. They've done it for years. And so that's going to start coming out. So all these people have just decided that the Tates are guilty and decided based on no first-hand experience that the Tates are somehow bad guys. Wait for the truth to come out, friends, because it's going to break your brains. Everyone who actually knows the Tates, who's been around them, as I have for 5 years, these are deeply respectful men. These are positive men. I've never seen Andrew or Tristan get angry ever. I've never seen them raise their voice ever. These are very stoic, emotionally stable men, and they're having a very positive impact on the world. So I'm looking forward to the history books showing clearly the truth of the fact that these are good men, and that the women making these allegations, just wait and see the truth about them. Wait and see their credibility as it comes out in the judicial process. It's going to surprise a lot of people just how disgusting these creatures
I'm
are.
glad they're suing them. And
I am too.
This case is making me want to take the incel pill. Just embrace incel. I'm scared of women in the West. And I don't know how it's just investing all this time, like how quickly you can ruin a man's life just for the fact that they want money, attention, and clout, that they want to sell a Netflix show and make up all these lies. It's like, is it really worth it to be investing? Like, sure, it's fun. Like, you get to rub your penis and like you get a girl or whatever. But the incel pill, you get to have more focus. You get closer to Allah. And you can work on what you want to do. I think as a 24-year-old, seeing how many men are going down, McGregor's having that. Mendy just got 2 years. He lost 2 years of his career for false allegations, and it's fine now, but you don't get those 2 years back of the peak of your career just because one woman
And it always
lied.
stays with you too.
It's going to be sustained
even after you beat it. Like after you beat it, it doesn't matter. It stays with you. So like,
just
that's the
being
worst
accused,
part.
The bad news, the allegations are on page 1. The hang on, it wasn't real is on page 18.
Yes,
right? It's
that's
nasty
that's
stuff.
a great way to put it.
It's nasty.
Because what's going to sell? Oh, this person's a rapist. But if they get vindicated, whatever, nobody cares.
No one cares.
There's no other crime where you're automatically presumed guilty. Like if I said, he robbed me at gunpoint. He stole my car. You were like, okay, did he really? Doesn't sound like Myron would be the type to rob someone at gunpoint. Like, let's investigate that. Myron did Grand Theft Auto, really? It would be doubted.
Right.
But the second you say he raped a girl.
Trafficker, grape, immediately.
Is immediately
I knew it the whole time. He was creepy.
Exactly.
Blah, blah, blah. So it's just...
He says things I don't agree with on the internet, especially that. Like any guy who reaches a certain level of status, especially on the internet and money, you're a target to that. Almost any guy who's famous, especially speaking the truth, red pill truth,
Speaking against the narrative, man.
Yeah, and just a high value.
Everybody wants to attack you. Everybody wants a piece of the pie.
99% of guys who are on that journey will face an attack at some point.
All the time. So just take the incel pill.
Hang on. Let's reframe that, brother. The green pill is superior to the incel pill.
Why is the green pill superior?
Could I get a definition of these pills?
Incel pill is being an
like
autistic.
the purple pill.
Incel pill is autistic schizo, not seeing any women just because women are gay, and then
Are they like the
focusing on you want to work.
or?
Well, that besides the school shooter part. So if you focus all that energy, all the nut energy into your
or
work.
MGTOW, men going their own way. That's another way to put it.
Peaceful incels.
That's another way to put it.
Yes. Well, incel is a bad word, so I would say volcel, but incel's cooler.
What's a volcel?
Voluntary celibate? Because
voluntarily
incel means
celibate.
you can't get girls at all.
Yeah.
But-
Okay.
Yeah. What's the green pill?
So I don't think it's healthy to completely be celibate. God has made us in a way that we are meant to partner with a woman. That is natural. So my thinking is, if you're today, in your 20s, full of hormones, you've got a bit of money in your pocket, how are you going to resist temptation? Tinder is endless hedonism. And even for those who can't access, women in the real world, porn is endless. How are you going to choose to reject all of that when it's just so abundant? And again, you're full of hormones. If you don't have some sort of values, some sort of guidance, some sort of structure with which to live your life, Islam, the green pill, brings that. And we talk about green pill. For me, it can be any person who is practicing a faith in an earnest manner. They're going to be holding themselves to account. They're going to make disciplined decisions daily. They're going to be able to resist the temptation, which is everywhere, and is pushed by Western culture to make men, out of shape, weak, addicted to pornography, addicted to dopamine. How are you going to offset all of that programming without religion in your life? I don't see it. I don't know many young men who can do it.
So green pill is engaging in some type of religion or some type of, guidance.
Predominantly Islam, because Islam is the religion with the most structure.
Engaging in some of that fun stuff with the healthy doses, or
no, it is living by the structures with which you have clear guidance as to what's right and what's wrong in life, and you have a discipline. You have brothers around you with the same discipline to avoid the hedonism. Because the thinking
but it does
is,
allow for some fun, right? Because I believe in the Muslim or in Islam, you can have multiple wives, correct?
I wouldn't call that for fun though, and there's a lot that comes with it. It's look, if you're
fun with headaches.
If you're at the level as a man where you can not just financially but also emotionally in terms of your leadership look after multiple families, and you can do that in a halal equal manner, then within Islam you can do that. Yes,
Sounds good to me.
I mean, look, if we want to talk, you said earlier, is it
right now.
Sorry,
Yeah, let's
what?
do it.
Take your shahada right now.
Shahada.
Yeah.
What's that?
We'll tell you. Actually, it's one sentence. Let me tell you.
Simple.
No, you should probably do some research first. It's a
Can I
one-way.
say it in
It's a one-way trip.
It's
You can't
just a
come back.
phrase to convert to Islam.
But the question you guys were asking, is it worth is the risk versus the return of dating in today's day and age? Certainly not in the West. The risks are not worth. I mean, look, in some countries like this where it's not as risky in terms of false allegations and legal system just coming at you. Okay, you could argue, but in the West, is the risk versus the return of spinning plates and dating a lot of women? Of course, it's not.
So what do you should recommend? Say you're a baller guy, you're good looking, you're young, that typical high value man in the West. Your advice is just leave or what? Or
My advice is have a look at what happened to the Tates. These are good men. Everyone around them knows they're good men.
They technically weren't even in the West.
The people making the claims are laughable in terms of their credibility, but look where they are.
Right.
As soon as you got some money, as soon as you got some public notoriety, especially if you speak against the narrative, man, there is a mark on your head, and any woman you let into your life can fulfill that contract.
What if you're not an influencer? You're not speaking out against.
I'd be extremely careful of who you let into your life. I would not do high numbers, and I'd be extremely careful.
They get jealous. It doesn't even matter if you're an influencer. People will get jealous naturally. People who work regular jobs, stuff like that, they'll see a free man living a life that they want to live, and they're gonna the jealousy is gonna manifest into something of them trying to take you down. And I think the people that are advocating towards spinning plates and saying that the Dan Bilzerian lifestyle is the way to go, a lot of them are in marriages for decades and decades. So like, why are they advocating for you to get a vasectomy and then sleep with a bunch of women like that you don't even like? For what? Like, who are you trying to impress? What is the point of doing this? It's ultimately like pretty empty. And everybody who's pushing that type of lifestyle, you got to look at how they're living and then see if they're if they are even in a position to role model. If they're not, then I don't think you should listen to them.
But also, after I got divorced 5 years ago, I did the spinning plates pretty heavily. It's exhausting.
Yeah, I know. It's
like
a full-time
it's work.
job.
Whereas if you have a loving, supportive wife who cares for you energetically, who helps you with your admin, who helps you with raising kids, who helps you heal if you're sick, that's a lot more meaningful and fulfilling than just spinning plates and having random women. Having real relationships with a wife who takes care of you is a much better way to do it. But I think those people who are speaking about spinning plates, the reason they recommend spinning plates is because they do not have a good marriage and they do not have a feminine woman taking care of them. Otherwise, why would they recommend spinning plates? All these people giving this, textbook, I've written a book so I know what to speak about. Shout out to Rollo Tomassi. The book saved a lot of lives, I get that. Yeah. But how is he going to talk about dating when he doesn't date? How is he going to say, do spinning plates when... Well, what receipts do you have, friend? If you're married for 27 years and you're saying spinning plates is the way to do it, clearly you haven't got a very good marriage. Again, we wouldn't go to a fat personal trainer for advice. We wouldn't go and get diet advice from a very clearly unhealthy doctor. When we take advice from people, what are their receipts? What's the credibility with which they're giving their advice? That's what I don't like about the internet age. Everyone's an expert on everything because they decided they are. It's pretty embarrassing, really.
Yeah, I mean, I see your perspective. I think the importance of spinning plates is just being able to identify which girls are good, which girls aren't, and then being able to be like, okay, I like this, I dislike this. And I think it gives a lot of guys practice because I think the issue is, in the West at least, maybe in other places it's not as bad, but the stakes are high because if you get in with the wrong girl, you marry that girl, God forbid, she take half your money.
I wouldn't get married in the West either.
Yeah. So it's like, I look at it like, if you're going to be in the West, you're going to pursue relationships with Western women, you need to be able to figure out which girls are worth it, which girls aren't, and then be able to be a good assessor of character. But the thing is that, because the things that used to be in place to save men before, religion, shame, all these things are kind of gone. And girls are just like, they're incentivized to be whores.
You have to have some shit girls, some experience with some shit girls to recognize what a shit girl is in the first place.
Yeah, I hear that. But as per that book, it says that the best way for a man to interact with a woman is spinning plates. That is the end state that's presented.
I would agree with that for a period of time. I agree.
But that's not an end state, man. It's empty, exhausting.
As an end state.
Yeah, it's empty, exhausting. He's saying that the best way to experience the feminine is through spinning plates for a man today.
But what does that mean, an end state? Like that's your...
That's the goal. That's what you should be doing. That's the best way to approach it. That's the best way to approach it.
No, I don't agree with that. No, but I do agree that that's like how you earn your stripes as a man. You have to...
Really? You think in today's day and age, I'm going to challenge you respectfully, you think earning stripes, proving you're a man, is getting on Tinder and banging a bunch of chicks?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that makes you a man, that makes you an alpha, that makes you a cool guy.
No, you said earning stripes. What achievement is there?
Maybe I misspoke with earning stripes. It's not an achievement. No.
Okay.
It is...
We're aligned.
How do you know what a shit girl is? How do you know to recognize signs of what's... If I ask, someone who's 18, 19, 20, what are the red flags and signs of a girl that you do not want a long-term relationship? We can sit here and name them. Public Instagram, a lot of photos showing a lot of skin, a lot of followers.
Speaking English.
Speaking English. We know what those red flags are.
Yeah, but
the 18, 19, and 20-year-old doesn't know what these red flags are.
Do you need to put your dick in a bunch of women to find that out?
I think you do, for a period of time.
Really? They could have just listened to what you said just then?
You have to experience it. You can't just if I tell you.
And a lot of guys are stubborn. They have to learn through getting burned on the stove.
Can you watch a YouTube video how to shoot a gun? You have to shoot a gun to know how to shoot a gun. Real experience in the field cannot be just like, oh, this random white guy on the Fresh and Fit thing said, don't date girls with public Instagram. Like,
it's tricky though, just because I see so many people getting into the spinning plates and they spend so much time there. They've learned what they need to learn, but they still do it. So is it really a learning experience?
Get in and get out, because again, like maybe, I don't know, maybe like there's some military now, or I'll put it this way, right? Maybe, and I'm just going to make a weird analogy. Let's not dissect it too much. But maybe if you were going to be on your fitness journey, you stop going out, you kind of cut off your friends. You're just in the gym all the time because you're just so fucking fat. You're 300 pounds and you kind of got to let work suffer a little bit, social life suffer a little bit. Then when you get down to even a respectable, 215, 200, maybe you're tall, so you're not even that fat that way. Then, okay, your life gets back in balance. You have a social life again. You stop neglecting work and you a little bit less time at the gym. So I think it's okay in life to get very out of balance in one area, learn some skill, go in deep in it, and then pull back and get balance. Get that experience, learn what to avoid in girls, and then. But yeah, I certainly agree. I would not want to be doing. I would not recommend that for like.
I think if you're in the West, where the stakes are so high, if you fail and pick the wrong girl, I think you got to get out there and experience which girls are good, which ones are bad, and be able to be a good assessor of character. Because so many guys are simps. They'll get with the first girl that touches their pee-pee, give her a relationship, then eventually give her a ring, and then that girl destroys them because that girl has way more sexual experience. This is something that was really scared of me. So we're on the Valuetainment show like a month and a half ago or whatever, right? We did the live show. And I asked the girls, I went around the panel. And one thing, this is why I start to phrase the question. I say, what do you think the average body count is of the average 25-year-old girl that maybe went to college? It was shocking, the answers that I got.
30, 40?
Some girls said 20, some girls said 30, some girls said 80, some girls said 50.
Whoa.
The answers were all over the place. But if I'm going to go ahead, and it was like 20 plus girls. So what I'll say is this. The average, I'll say, is somewhere between 20 to 30. So
sorry, what?
Yeah, 20, 30. Yeah, dude. And that's the women that said that.
At age 24.
At 25.
Hang on, if they're admitting to that, then it's 70, bro.
Yeah.
You go
That's the
by
scary part. That's the scary part. So they're saying that they think the average girl has somewhere between 20 to 30, and that's me just averaging all the answers. So my thing is, if you take the average guy that's 25 years old, he ain't gonna have 20 to 30 bodies. He's probably gonna have maybe 2 or 3. So my thing is, I'll look at it like, if your girl's more sexually experienced than you put yourself in a bad spot. But a lot of guys will go ahead and commit to the first girl that kisses them, and it's like, damn, this is dangerous.
Can I say something here?
At least in America.
Okay, what if that entire framework with which to approach relationships, the Western approach, is completely broken, in which men and women suffer, and it is Western, liberal, degenerate, hedonistic waste of time? What if there's a superior way to approach relationships, and that is the green pill, that is through an Islamic halal relationship in which the man has certain duties, the woman has certain duties, both parties understand that their sex intimacy is a sacred thing. It shouldn't be spread all over the world. What if the entire framework of the Western world in terms of relationship is completely polluted and broken? You can reject that. I know men who have, and you can choose a halal approach to relationships through taking the green pill. You can have relationships in the Islamic context, which are a lot healthier, both physically, energetically, mentally, in every sense.
I think you're right in practice, but I've seen a lot of young Muslim guys get married and then immediately they start simping for their wife, even in the marriage. Even though it's in a halal way, they get indoctrinated by their phones. And so if you get married too young without becoming established, I think that you're going to be able to get caught into that simping nature.
And that is a risk. And I don't really have the answer for that, because I see a lot of Muslim men.
Incel-dom. Be an incel until you're 35. Ignore women, ignore the distractions. If you have to once in a while, you can whatever. But just ignore relationships until you become extremely established, until you know exactly what you deserve and what you should demand for it. Ignore women until you get to that point where you're not. Because if you get married ultra young when you're like 22, 23, naturally you're going to want to give everything to this girl because you haven't been able to experience life yet.
And also the value's out of whack. She's young and beautiful. You're a man who hasn't made it yet. Whereas and this is what I've noticed, people who get married real young, their imprint stays the same. She can get, in 10 years' time, fat and grumpy, and you can be a multi-millionaire. She will still think she's the prize because the imprint when you got married earlier was she was the prize. So it is a tricky one.
She's holding on to that frame.
And I do feel empathy for the young Muslim men especially who are strong in their deen and are staying a virgin until they're married and they get married early, but the woman they're marrying has still been infected by Western degeneracy.
That's
and
the worst.
They've still been infected by all this simp culture that we see in the West. It's a very challenging thing. I think any relationships in the West, or pretty much anywhere in the world, it's a confused time for relationships between men and women. That's why Tate's gotten so popular. He speaks directly to the fact that most relationships are a mess, that it's all been messed up.
And I do agree with you that the entire way that men and women interact with each other in the West is dysfunctional. I agree 100% with you actually.
What's the solution in your view, brother?
Well, so So I think there's two ways to go about it. You know, I think the green pill is a very valid way to deal with it, where you go through it with the Islamic lens, which I think obviously Islam solves a lot of problems. Yeah, of course. You know, it definitely
came
does.
To the masjid with us today, man.
Hey, man, I was handling things behind the scenes with the gym in here,
It was working. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, and I will definitely, you know, I know some of you guys are probably wondering about this. Yeah, I grew up in a Muslim family. A lot of you guys know this. I will definitely go back to the deen, but when I come back, it's going to be 100% on point. I don't want to do it for, you know, oh, I want to just do this because it's like, you know, it's cool. It's like, no, I want to do this. Like, I want to make sure if I come back to the deen, I'm doing it for real. But what I will say though is, yeah, the Islamic way to go about it is absolutely, you know, optimal. But the thing is, I'm looking at it when I'm going to dispense advice to the majority of guys out there. What I say is like, okay, is everyone going to go ahead and convert to Islam? No. Is everyone going to go ahead and take the Islamic lens to it? Probably not. So what I say is, okay, since most of you guys are not going to do that, this is some advice to kind of deal with the shitty situation, right? Like, it sucks. This is what it is. This is a dating marketplace. It's a cesspool, but this is how you navigate it and the best way to mitigate risk. There's always going to be the risk. You are definitely going to come out of this dirty to some degree. You're going to have some mud on you.
The more numbers, the more risk. People need to understand that.
You're going to have mud on you at the end of this, but my goal is to get you in a situation where you have mud on you, but you're in a leveraged position in a relationship. The girl respects you. She admires you. You're the one that she's chasing, and you're going to have to go through the mud to do it, but this is the best way to do it in the West. Or, you know, the passport bro movement is huge. A lot of guys are leaving altogether and going to other places where the women are just more traditionally feminine and the women behave more like women, which is a valid response. I'm not necessarily a passport bro, but I see that why the need is there and why it's exploded over the past 5 to 10 years. You know, it used to be like a little nuanced thing. Roosh used to write the books, hey, bang Colombia, bang Ukraine, bang blah, blah, blah. And it was kind of like a sub-culture thing. But it's out there now. Like, the whole passport movement, it's out there. It's here. It's alive. And guys are coming. You know, Medellin is going through gentrification right now. The Philippines, Thailand, so many guys. Ukraine before it became a war torn. There's still a bunch of guys there anyway. So it's a thing, and I think a lot of guys are waking up and realizing, okay, I got 3 options. I can either go with religion, whether it's through Islam or Christianity, and find a woman and go use that lens, or I can adapt to the dating marketplace in the West and use these red pill tactics or whatever you want to say to deal with it and kind of deal in the cesspool. Or 3, I can move somewhere where the women have different values. And it's going to be easier for me to find a girl that's going to be on my program. And that's the 3 ways that I've seen guys kind of adapt. But I think it's fucked regardless. But yeah, the Western way of relationships, I agree. It's
messed
fucked.
up. And it's but if you get married, if you get in a relationship too young, I think the main problem in relationships is a woman thinking that she's equal to the man that she's with. I think we could all agree on that.
Yeah.
And traditionally,
that's the root of the problem.
Traditionally, you can't really talk about this or advocate for this, but like the ideal marriage is traditionally would be like the woman is 16, 17, and she's getting married to somebody who's in their late 20s. But you can't talk about that anymore. You can't. They say that a girl could start her OnlyFans at 18, but if a girl gets married young, that she's getting trapped. She's getting trapped. Why is she liberated if she starts an OnlyFans, gets an Instagram, or she's getting ran through in relationships, she's partying, she's taking drugs at a young teenage age? But if she gets married for some reason, it's a terrible thing. That is probably the best solution for a lot of for most women. But she needs to be with a man that she can look up to and respect in a way. So you need to be older. Like that's the truth that you can't really talk about.
Good point.
You need to be older. So I'm 24. It's like if I want to be with a girl who's maybe 5 years younger than me, that would be ideal. Because if I get married now, 10, 15, 20 years from now, I'm going to look at her like, you're kind of getting old. Even though I'm older, she's like kind of wrinkly. Like, it's just, and then there's going to be that genuine burning desire is going to fade. So if you look at the numbers, if you look at it from a business perspective, the ideal relationship, if you're looking for longevity, is I'm 32 and I get married to an 18-year-old. And then 20, 30 years on, she's like, even though she's starting to get a couple like little crow's feet.
Come on, what's wrong with you, misogynist?
Well, it is what it is.
Why do you need an 18-year-old?
But it's not just physical. It's not just physical. Women emotionally mature pretty quick. You think of like most dudes when they're in their 20s, they're driven.
Fuck anything that walks.
Yeah. Whereas a woman typically will be more socially and emotionally intelligent at an earlier age. So there is an argument too. It's not just about the physical piece. Yeah. There is an argument for a bit of a healthy age difference. And also, I think a good reason to have an age difference is if you, as a man, you're a 22-year-old man, you marry a 22-year-old woman, she's going to walk all over you. Yeah. They've got it together in terms of their frame control even at an earlier age than men. I think an age gap is very healthy.
It's like Myron talks about. They need to be coachable, guidable. Yeah. And the younger girls are just more naturally to fall into that
Because they've got the value. Who's got more value, a 22-year-old man or a 22-year-old woman?
Wisdom, Why wouldn't you want, from a girl's perspective, why wouldn't you want to date a guy that has more experience, more wisdom to share with you, help you navigate life?
Who you
better?
can submit to, who you can view as a leader.
Experience, just like.
Yeah.
And let's talk to that a bit, because this is something, and I'm really glad you brought this up, SNEAKO. I think one of the root cause of a lot of issues is there's not an established framework in the relationship where the man is a leader and the woman is a follower.
Green pill fixes this.
The guy thinks that him and his girl are equal, and a lot of times it stems from a similar age situation. But when you're significantly older than your girl, 10 years plus, etc., you have some life experience, she could look up to you. She's like, damn, okay, this guy has his shit together. So she's automatically going to respect you more just by you being more mature and older than her. And if you have the money on top of it, the experience, etc., I think 30 years old, right? 30, 32, 33 years old with an 18-year-old is awesome. But in the West, they'll tell you that's terrible. You're a pedophile. You're an asshole.
But Jay-Z, Beyonce, look at them. He was 33 and Beyonce was 19. They don't really analyze that because, but that has the best longevity in a relationship.
It does.
That's why you're saying green pill, but I think you need to be an incel for like 10 years so that you can focus on your craft at becoming a man, because without life experience, she's not going to be able to look up to you. I agree that you need to have sort of a hierarchy in the relationship where you need to be able to lead, but you don't know how to be a leader if you don't have life experience. If you haven't gone through trials and tribulations, if you haven't struggled enough. So as long as you're being an autistic incel for 10 years and you're able to go and grind and figure out life, then you're going to be able to be in a position finally, okay, now I'm ready to get married. I've been an incel long enough and I can have
Volcel.
I agree with both of you. I agree with both of you.
I think the bottom line that we all have here is that you need to be in the leadership role, and we pretty much all agree that age is one of the biggest cornerstones of that leadership role, because with the age comes the wisdom, the experience, the money, the stability.
It takes time to build value as a man.
Yeah, but here's the scary part though, like young guys, especially in the West, right, or men in general in the West, are told, don't get what, like, you should get a girl on your level at your age, etc. I think that's one of the biggest lies we tell men is go ahead and get with a girl. You're 30 years old, go get with another 30-year-old woman because she's experienced. And I'm like, no, fuck that shit. Get a younger woman who you can go ahead and leave an impression on. And I think
also
it's
in
important.
Her prime. At 30, you're in your prime. She in her prime at her 30.
And also the other thing is too, look, I know a lot of men who are volcels or, have really limit their interactions with women. They focus on their mission. They're fulfilled in life. I think a man's primary objective is to be fulfilled in mission.
I agree.
I do not see women who are fulfilled from mission, whereas the women who I know who are most fulfilled in life, they've found a man they respect and they've submitted to him. They still have work, but it's not their primary thing. Their primary thing is the relationship, the house, and in order to be fulfilled as a woman, you need to be able to respect your man. If your man is the same age as you, it's going to be hard to really submit to him and follow him and respect him as your leader because, well, he's a kid.
The woman's mission is the family.
Well said.
The man's mission is, earning money and, maybe some, changing the world, fighting the matrix, things like that. Some type, something that goes beyond money.
External conquest, out of the house conquest, in the house.
Purpose, conquest, and then I think the woman's mission is, the kids, maybe fitness, gym, staying is
caring for a man, submitting. I swear, all the women I know who are most fulfilled in life have found a man they respect and they have submitted to him. Doesn't mean they're not strong, doesn't mean they're not well educated, doesn't mean they don't have work, but the primary thing is they've found a man they respect and they've submitted to him. That is where I see female fulfillment.
A submissive woman, I think, is actually stronger than these stupid ass women that run around and say they're strong and independent, because submission means that you're choosing to do it. You're choosing to relinquish that power because you have the skill set and the ability to identify it and turn it over to an individual who you know is more capable.
And live in a partnership instead of trying to be some boss bitch. And man, feminism ages women hard. I can see someone who's a long-term feminist because they look 10 years older than they should be. Trying to be a boss bitch and running yourself is very tiring for women. Those stress hormones will show, will manifest physically over the years. What was that Harry Potter lady?
J.K. Rowling.
Oh, no, not her, not the wow, feminism hit her hard, bro. It's a dangerous thing for women. Women, if you want to stay beautiful, reject feminism, be submissive, find a good, high-value, caring man to look after you.
Ages them, it also turns their hair blue.
Yes. But I mean, the Holy Book's got it right, that the feminine nature does not exist without masculine nature. So if she's going to be able to be what she thinks is a boss bitch, she's going to end up submitting her femininity to her boss, or to the whatever political structure, the CEO of that company. If she's going to be on OnlyFans, she's basically submitting to the people that run the porn industry. You're always submitting to some masculine essence. And objectively, it's better for a woman to submit to a man that loves and cares about her and wants to give her a family. Or when she's younger, she's going to be looking up to her father. And if she doesn't have that masculine balance, that's when the woman becomes corrupted, and that's when she starts to bite the apple. That's when Satan comes through the woman first. It's not the man. The woman is really the one bringing the jinn. They're corrupting without some sort of good masculine balance. It's extremely important.
I agree. And I like that point that you mentioned, that at some point she's going to have to submit to a masculine authority. Might as well be the father of your children versus a corporation that doesn't care about you.
Doesn't care at all.
You know what I mean? It's funny to me because women say, I'm empowered, I'm empowered, I'm empowered. But what are you doing really when you're an OnlyFans girl? You're showing your butthole to a bunch of men, right? Does that actually make you empowered? I don't know. Versus you could have been showing that butthole to your man, having some dignity, have a family, be happy to do it, not be disgusted. Because you look at all these women that are sex workers, we have them on the show, they're all miserable. They hate their life. Strippers, dude, their life is literally in shambles. Like, no girl can do sex work long term.
It might, there's definite correlation. It could be causation. There could be, you know, choose the boss bitch path in life, you will be unfulfilled. Have any of you ever met a boss bitch feminist type who's actually happy and attractive and just a nice person to be around?
No.
And she
Only
just
when
has
she's
her
cutting
career?
the balls
No.
off a man. That's the only time she can crack a smile.
It's because they're living a lie.
Yeah,
because
it doesn't work. It's
they
not real.
call themselves independent boss queens, but they're always in control by some man. It's like when you see the prostitutes out in Colombia, there's always a pimp behind the scenes. When you see the girl who's working in office and she's wearing the Hillary Clinton suit vest, she's submitting to the CEO of the company. There's always some masculine authority who's in charge of her. Even these OnlyFans girls, and they're the ones who think that they're independent the most because I got my bag by myself. You're sending your butthole to the CEO of this company. She is submitting to the guy, the OnlyFans creator. That's your dad now. That's your husband. Whoever, this guy behind the phone who created these apps, like that's who is in control of you.
And all the weirdos that she sends video to get extra charge. You know
They
what I mean?
own you.
Yeah.
So that's why they're unhappy because they try to they convince themselves that they're independent, but they're not. They're the most dependent creatures. They're little leeches. They're little Satan's
Dependent on
creatures
simps.
latching on to good people. Yeah.
Cool. So we could go ahead and hit some of these chats. I know they've been piling up and everything else like that. We got the Warner in the house, by the way, in the back. Can you read some of those for me, brother? And then we can. Some of them are probably questions or whatever. And we already got 6,000 plus y'all in here. So what we'll do, guys, is just because I want to make sure we get the conversation flowing, and I know SNEAKO and Jewel got to run out of here after this. We'll go 15 up from this point forward.
Tell Myron. Myron's supposed to come on the run with us too. I want to go. Myron needs to get out of the studio and do some Colombia activities. So everybody, W. Myron, if you go on the run with, come on the run.
All right. So go ahead, bro. You can start reading some of
Okay,
them.
so you want name? And
Yeah,
then-
name and then amount and then what they say.
Okay, cool. So Kendall Lawson, 199. Shout out to FNF, God is King. Have you ever thought about, okay, then we got BB, 499. Have you ever thought about turning FNF into a network, adding Rumble, separate new shows with hosts like Tommy, Zerka, SNEAKO? That would be next level. Then we got 3 Diglets, $50. SNEAKO, what's your drug of choice?
Okay, people are lying right now. I don't do drugs. I actually
Clarify that, please. Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
sober for 4 months. I haven't had a sip of alcohol. Like it's what I'm talking about. These people always try to clout chase and try to get. I'm up right now. Let's be honest. Like, so people can try to associate with me. All of that are lies, and just the fact that I need to clarify that. The fact that you guys, men who watch these podcasts all the time, the fact that you're seeing random screenshots, you're seeing what happened to Tate, you see what happened to all these male celebrities, and you believe the lies that they're spreading about me, is pretty stupid on your guys' part. I know a lot of it are jokes, but no, I'm sober.
But yeah, he's been sober since he reverted
And I'm
to Islam,
unvaccinated.
guys.
There's this conspiracy that I'm vaccinated. I got banned on YouTube for well, I don't know if I could talk, but yes, no,
Yeah.
stop. Don't believe the lies, man.
Yeah, the no vax guys, and definitely, since he's reverted to Islam, he's not. I've seen him never taking a drug or
But
alcohol.
also, I mean, look, I know a lot of
He's
people.
clean now.
A lot of people don't know me, but I wouldn't associate with people who are taking drugs. I'm not going to be in their space. We've traveled a lot at this point, right?
Yeah, we've been to 4 continents, 4 masjids in 4 different continents.
That's pretty. Yeah, see, there you go. That's what his drug of choice is Islam. How about that?
Bam.
He's rejected hedonism. He's rejected drugs. That's a young man who has all the hedonism and all the drugs and all the nonsense that you could want thrown at him constantly. He doesn't do it. Doesn't touch it. And that I think that takes a lot of discipline. It's a rare thing in today's world. So all these haters.
He gave it up.
Where's your discipline at? What's your drug of choice, friend? Go and focus your energy on something more meaningful.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
No, you good, man. What else do we got, brother?
So I don't play games, $4.99. Myron, you are the backbone of the show. If you leave, it's over. When you wasn't there, look at the comments on the show. That was an L.
Hey, why would you say that? I had a lot of value behind the scenes. Come on. Listen, man. This is my show too.
All right, we'll go. Next one.
AJ,
Thanks.
$4.99. When I doubt, just follow the watermelon trail. You'll find one
Watermelon?
of 2 things: fresh or
watermelon?
a cat. Or I think that's a monkey. I don't know what.
I love watermelon.
These guys, man.
And ice creams and milkshakes. Don't forget the milkshakes. I love them. Come on.
All right.
Okay, so Sammy Ward, $1.99. Tate used y'all to blow up and stream with Ross now. That guy, $11.99. Maybe a stupid question, but I've been red pilled some weeks ago. started hitting the gym, lost 30 pounds so far.
Nice.
My question is, how can I cope with loneliness after cutting ties with female friends?
Can I
That's a
speak?
great question.
Can I speak to that? So first of all, let's use that phrase drug of choice. As a man, your drug of choice can be many things. We're all searching for heightened states. Now, you can get that in low energy, low output, low effort ways or high effort ways. What are the low effort ways to feel good? Drugs, pornography, hedonism, video games, exactly. Scrolling on TikTok to get that dopamine fix. Or you can search for that higher state in things, in activities that involve effort. Prayer is one. I feel incredibly grateful and incredibly content every time I pray. When I pray with my brothers, even more so. Being fit physically, putting in the effort that way, you get massive endorphin release. Progress in your business, learning new skills. Your way to seek that heightened state, which we're all searching for, doesn't need women, friend. You do not need women. Get addicted to progress, get addicted to discipline. Search higher states in ways that require real effort, and that's a more sustainable, more healthy way to feel what you're looking to feel anyway, which is what, chase women or chase progress. That's a red pill statement, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I've heard this. I don't know if this is pseudoscience or not, but I've heard that the difference between that true fulfillment type happiness and pleasure type happiness is happiness from serotonin and happiness from dopamine. So dopamine is sex, jerking off, video games, sugar, social media. That's
Short
the
term.
dopamine high, yeah.
Yep.
And then the serotonin, the fulfillment, the long-term happiness comes from accomplishing goals, great relationships with your friends, great relationships
Things
with your
that require
family,
effort, right?
philanthropy, giving back, creating a community, helping others in need. So go for the serotonin type, the fulfillment happiness, not the dopamine pleasure, like the casino. You're pulling the lever and the lights and the drugs and all that. That's the dopamine high.
And I think that
that's really good advice, man.
it needs to be talked about more. Young men today don't have anyone saying to them, you're going to feel good through low effort stuff or high effort stuff. The high effort stuff is the stuff that really will make you feel fulfilled. And I also, to all these young men saying, I feel lonely, do you really need women to feel good in life?
Yeah.
Really? As a young man building an empire, why are you looking for women for validation or for progress?
Super gay. So I'm in a similar position too, because I've cut out a lot of that. And I just want to wait and focus on myself. And I think the best way to train that to where you're looking for validation from women is to start to actually listen to them. And this really helps when you become sober. Stop drinking and then talk to a woman. And then you'll realize really quickly, whoa, there's nothing going on in your brain. I'm wasting my life talking to someone that I just want to rub my penis with. It's a waste of your life, genuinely. And so once you start to reprogram your mind and stop to naturally entertain these pointless conversations about your astrology sign and about whatever just all the nonsense she talks about, you realize how disgusting it is. And it's really like, these are succubus creatures because you're giving away your time, your resources. You worked a long, hard day, and now you need to sit across from a table and pay for dinner from somebody who has nothing to talk about at all. You should be disgusted talking to these creatures and the fact that you need to get rid of your loneliness by talking to this person. Once you retrain your mind to become disgusted with that, like we're in Colombia right now, and I've talked to a couple of these girls, and it's just, now that I've reprogrammed it and now that I'm sober, talking to them is just like, I'm more misogynistic now because I don't even want to be around them. I thought I was misogynistic when I was spending time with them, and I was like, oh, this is stupid. And I was just trying to like invest my time to have sex with them. But now that I'm around them, I'm just trying to focus up and I'm on this incel wave. It's like, yo, go away, leech, succubus, jinn, away, stop for life. I don't want to be around them. So I think prayer and sobriety is the best step.
Well said, brother.
Yeah. No, I think what you guys said about, accomplishment is so important, man. But the thing is that you got to understand, guys, that competence leads to accomplishments, which then leads to confidence. And you need to understand that that's the trajectory of success, which will then lead to happiness. You're not going to get it through playing video games, through the short hits of the sugar and all the bullshit. You got to actually accomplish something. And the thing is, when you feel sad or lonely or whatever, a lot of times that's a manifestation of you not accomplishing something. And honestly, you should never... Women shouldn't be what makes you lonely. You need to have good men around you.
Well said.
That's where you're going to be fulfilled, because your guys are going to be there. Women come and go, but when you got a good set of friends, they ain't going nowhere, man. And you can identify with them more anyway. Like, your girl should be there for fun. Your guys are who you go to when you have problems, etc. If you have a good set of guy friends, you should never feel lonely.
And can I speak to that in terms of ROI? Lovely rant there, by the way, SNEAKO. That was fantastic. Alhamdulillah.
I need to get that out.
So,
No, it's true, though. Yeah, damn, I was speaking
beautiful,
facts.
beautiful. Our time on this planet is our major resource. It's very finite. What's the ROI of time that you're putting into a woman. You're putting in hours, and I call it being that dancing monkey at a date, pretending you care about whether it's a puppy charity or the fact that her hobbies include Netflix. It's nothing, right? Whereas if that ROI, there are a lot of men in the war room who I mentor. I can send someone 2-3 minute voice message and change their life for the better. You know, and I can coach guys through difficult times. Some people have had tricky divorces or they're going through sickness. The energy you put into helping your brother brings massive ROI, both in terms of you're helping them, but also if you have a certain faith, you're doing a good thing for humanity. What's the ROI in those hundreds of hours you put into speaking to a woman who you don't really care about, you just want to get naked with her?
Can I bring up an interesting counter argument to that?
Well, I'd love to hear it, mate. Yeah. So, I imagine you put a fair few hours into these things.
So
that's why you hired Casey to do it for you. So you know
exactly, yeah. So you strike me as a guy who grew up naturally pretty confident in high school or whatever, primary school, whatever you call it.
I was a bit of a nerd, man.
I mean, everyone thinks they're a nerd, but like by and large, you were probably more confident and had better social skills than the average person, or no?
Yeah, I was not lonely for
you were
attention
pretty
with
naturally
women.
pretty alpha, naturally pretty outgoing.
I wouldn't say I was alpha, brother. Like the army made me a lot more of a masculine man. I grew up single parent household, blue pill, all that stuff.
So let me get to my point. I have either wasted or not, depending how you look at it, countless hours talking to dumb hoes in nightclubs. So the greatest journey, the greatest transformation I ever had in my life was the journey of cold approach pickup. For the guys that don't know, that means you go into a social environment, nightclub, house party, whatever, daytime, shopping mall, and you try to bring positive emotions and positive vibes to strangers, to girls, mixed sets to guys and girls. So you're over there, there's these cool people in Vegas partying, and you have to go up and make them accept you. It's kind of like sales. How can I go over to these people who already have their own fun, their own party? A stranger is gonna infiltrate that group, and by providing funny stories, good vibes, whatever other value you can provide, you're gonna make them accept you into your group.
You're talking about heightened social and emotional intelligence.
Yeah, so the same way that people dedicate hours upon hours into guitar or volleyball or coding PHP, whatever it is, I mastered my social skills by talking to stupid hoes in nightclubs and going up like, oh fuck, I feel nervous, I don't know what to say, I'm just, oh fuck, okay, here I go, and I just go in there and just talk to them and just vomit comes out. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't, but overall I learned to be charismatic, how to make people like me. I can start a conversation with strangers now pretty easily. I can, talk to you folks pretty well, pretty confident. So what would you say there? I mean, that's a lot of hours. Are they wasted hours?
Yep,
or?
I'd love to speak to that. So definitely, I can see how the pursuit of women can lead to increasing your social and emotional intelligence. I've never done cold approach, but I'm also able to go into a group of people and create that rapport, those positive emotions. So yes, it is one way with which to develop those capabilities, but it's not the only way. That's what I'd say to that.
Sure. Okay, and it's hard to, how would you say specifically for women to develop those capabilities if it wasn't?
Women don't need those.
Women don't.
Do you think women need social skills?
No, I'm talking about women. I'm talking about as a guy who wants to develop social skills, particularly around women. So maybe you can already talk to guys in the boardroom, you're confident around men, but you're not confident around women, and you want to become super confident around women. How do you do that without wasting hours of time talking to dumb hoes and nightclubs?
I think you need to embrace a little bit of misogyny. I think the reason that...
Let's call it realism. Let's call it realism, please.
This is real. Like, you need to be a little bit misogynistic because, maybe not the Western idea of this term, but like if you realize that most women are stupid and have nothing in their brains and they're programmed by some man, a lot of them are ran through, a lot of them are not going to add anything to your life. They're not going to be all autistic when you talk, because you don't really need their validation, right? If you just see them as like another person, like, hey, he's stupid, then you don't care, and then you get to talk to them like you would talk to like your friends, then that anxiety level drops. As long as that anxiety level's down and you talk to them like
so you're gonna take a nervous guy and say, hey, listen, nervous guy, I'm SNEAKO, your pickup coach. Just remember that
why
you're
is he
talking
nervous?
to a women are intimidating to guys.
Exactly. So you need to embrace misogyny. He's intimidated by women because he thinks that the women that he's talking to are better than him. Once you start being misogynistic, you realize this is just a girl with a little tight dress on.
But you understand that just telling
she
him
bought this at Shein.
I agree with you, but how are you going to unprogram that from a guy who's just
embrace misogyny?
Make men misogynistic again.
Make men misogynistic again. Exactly. Once you start to realize that these are just girls walking around with nothing in their heads, they just repeat what they saw. Keeping up with the Kardashians.
I would just say you need to experience them to realize that. You can't just realize that because SNEAKO told you on a live stream.
I think it's one way to do it, but I also know men who are Muslims and who are virgins, and they have got game for days. They have completely seen that they are the ones with the value, they're the ones with the accolades, they're the ones who've struggled, they are realistic, and they in no way are oh wow, it's a woman, she sits on something that I want to have access to, but these are very religious men, they have a lot of very powerful men around them. There are numerous ways to get over this whole mental thirst or physical thirst that a lot of men have, not just through dating and running through hundreds of women. There are many different ways to get there.
I would make the argument that some men can just be. I think SNEAKO is more naturally confident. I just see that. I don't know. Maybe
No,
you're a
I had some
weirdo
autistic nerd too.
Everyone says that.
No,
Fuck
really,
you.
bro. I grew up like I look
Really?
like Chris Brown, kind of like light skin now. I grew up as the Asian dude with braces and glasses, like in
Fair enough,
yeah,
fair
in
enough.
Connecticut where it's mostly white. So I'm
Everyone
like,
thinks that I had my awkward
No,
phase, but
100%.
your awkward phase is probably less than the awkward
I had a
phase.
Blasian fro and I was Asian, like 100%. I walked in, people didn't know what race I
whatever.
was.
Bro, I
like,
got picked on as a kid. I was geeky. I was awkward.
Sure. Everyone think, okay, but
I actually
what I'm
was,
saying
man.
is, I think there are some people who can get it through religion, who can get it through maybe they dominate in sports, maybe they dominate in business, and they can just get that confidence. And more power to them. If you don't have to waste the hours talking to hoes, then don't do it. I would make the argument that most guys probably need a little bit of that just to. And I think Myron, when you would probably, I mean, you're an old school cold approach guy like
Yeah.
me, right? What are your thoughts on this?
It's a skill set that you should have. I think it's definitely a skill set you should have because, and here's the thing, SNEAKO's been saying you got to embrace being misogynistic. I think you got to embrace being realistic, man. I don't think it's misogynistic because
Realism.
you don't hate women. I think it's more along the lines of you understand most of them are useless and they don't bring much value. And I agree with you. Most girls are literally useless because they never had to be useful. So, but a way that you're going to understand that. Because here's the thing. Some guys know that from watching this podcast because this stuff has become broadcasted. Some guys need to go out there and talk to a lot of women and figure out, damn, a lot of y'all really are retarded. What the hell am I doing here? So a lot of guys got to, put their hand on the stove and get burned. But yeah, I think it is a good skill set though, because if you can go ahead and generate a conversation with someone who's brain dead moron, right? It's going to make you a sharper individual in general. It's going to make you it's going to force you to be charismatic. It's going to force you to be charming. It's going to force you to be able to think under pressure, etc. So I think, and not necessarily it's about talking to the girl to like talk to the girl. I think the lessons learned and the skill sets learned from dealing with such a brain dead individual a lot of the times, and someone that's interesting that doesn't have hobbies, which most women are. Let's just keep it 1,000.
Like
most
a
girls
monologue sometimes, not even a two-way conversation.
Yeah, it's literally so. Like, what'll end up happening is you will become more skilled at being charismatic and being able to control a conversation and dictate a conversation to a certain point. So I would look at it not necessarily as like I'm doing this to get the girl. Do it more as in I'm going to become better at telling stories. I'm going to become better at being charming. I'm going to be better at being charismatic, etc. Because this girl is, because if you could do it with a girl who's brain dead, well, when you do find a girl that's not an idiot, it'll be even better.
Walking up to a group of strangers at a club and making them like you is a skill that can be used in all
it's a good skill.
things. You have to be dominant. You have to get their attention. You have to talk loudly.
Yeah.
You have to accept the burden of the conversation. And yeah, like you're gonna get rejected.
Using proper tonality.
People who thought I was a fucking weirdo and just couldn't wait for me to leave. You read those social cues and you go, nice meeting you, and then you leave.
Because a lot of guys,
it's a difficult thing.
And let me say this too, because and I'm really glad that you brought this up. So like with women, right? If I told a guy, in 20 years, you're going to have to get in a ring and fight someone who's a 10-degree black belt, right? What would you do? You'd probably train, right? You would go ahead and you go to the dojo, wax on, wax off. You'd hire your own Mr. Miyagi. You figure this out, right? But a lot of guys don't. And what ends up happening is I consider women black belts when it comes to social interaction, reading social dynamics, etc.
It's how they've stayed alive throughout the history.
Yeah, it's how they stay alive. So not only do they have the biological programming and evolution, they also get it because by the time they hit puberty, they get hit on by a bunch of weirdos. So women become very good at deciphering which guys are losers, which guys aren't, or which guys are good at putting up a certain image that they're that guy, right? So the point is they're able to identify it very quickly. So for men, most guys, even the guys that are out there that are the most charismatic, most charming, done the most approaches, they're not getting even a fraction of the same interaction that women do with the opposite gender. So guys really got to get out there and practice and talk. I'm not saying you got to get out there and talk to a million women, but you should have some semblance of how to start a conversation, hold a conversation, build the traction, etc.
You're talking about hoes, and I'm talking about women, because these women who have all the black belt and social interaction are hoes. Because they've dealt with all these different guys and stuff with a bunch of guys. They've been to the club all the time.
But even girls that aren't hoes, like they've still been
talking.
Yeah, they're going to get approached. They just don't enact on it. I get what you're saying.
All hot girls. I mean, but in the Middle East, for example, if you get a girl who has a nice hijab, niqabi, that's the correct terminology. She's covered and she's waiting. By the time
you can tell by the eyes, my friend.
Yeah,
that's different.
Just her eyes. You harvest your incel power until you're 32, right? Then you meet her father, and then she introduces, okay, this is my daughter. You'll have a halal marriage. She isn't corrupted yet. She's gonna fall into your frame because you're a made man. And then you get it bob and weave all the black. Like, why? I don't need to go talk to random people in Vegas, or I don't need to go and black belt these hoes.
But that model's better for society.
SNEAKO does
That,
it.
that model that you're talking about, SNEAKO, would be much better for society than all of this random casual sex that everyone's engaging in. Because let's be honest, casual sex breaks women. If you're engaging in a lot of casual sex as a man, you're doing something that's damaging for her, it's damaging for society. SNEAKO's model, the Volcel green pill and get married when you built your value, that would be good for society, as opposed to what we see in the West nowadays.
But the problem is that, not enough people practice it. And then, you're going to have to go to a Sharia law country a lot of the times to be able to find a woman that has that, maybe a Saudi Arabia, maybe.
W Taliban chat.
I'm going to be Muslim by the time
Taliban in the chat. Let's go.
the stream is.
But for everybody else, man, it's going to be tough for them to be able to do that. But yes, optimally, dude, that's the best way to go. A girl that you're meeting her with her brother there or her father there, and you have that conversation, that's the best way to do it. But are most guys going to have that? No, they're not going to have that opportunity.
Well, if you harvest your incel power till you're 32, then you can get there. See, instead of your 20s wasting around casual sex, dating, you're in the club all the time, you're wasting money, you get lonely, you're in the gym, you have to watch all this content. If you just harvest that energy into what you do, by the time you're ready to be married, you're going to be able to be the leader that girl needs.
You would have achieved a lot more.
Thing come from?
You know what it is? It's just
Where's
Islam.
this come from,
It's just Islam. This is exactly how every marriage works successfully in Islam.
You will achieve a lot more if you take SNEAKO's model over the chasing girls model. You'll get a lot more done with business, with fitness, with understanding the world, everything. Those hundreds of hours we spend on chasing women, I put it to you that it's a fairly low ROI in terms of building yourself as a man. If you take the Volcel pill, because it's not, bro, you are not involuntary celibate. I've seen the way women walk up to you. Let's be real here.
Yeah, shout out to the incels, though. We're on the same team.
But if you take that time and energy and you put that into building yourself as a man, building your empire, your life is going to be better than just spending that chasing women. That's my opinion.
Maybe the most intelligent approach would be something like kind of like what I do, which is I throw these parties, and not only full of a lot of beautiful women, there's some high net worth, high value guys there as well.
You're providing something a lot of people want.
Exactly. So it doesn't mean you have to go into a cocaine-filled nightclub in Las Vegas and stay up till 3 a.m. chasing hoes trying to put your dick in them. You could throw an amazing house party here in the penthouse. You're networking. You're building your network. I've met amazing business partners, guys who become clients here.
But again, your intent is not just to get your pee-pee wet. As Myron was saying, your intent is to better yourself as a man.
But you could also use that time to, while you're networking, while you're meeting, the guys and stuff. Yeah, there's hot girls there. You're talking to hot girls, and maybe you have some type of filtering system where they, at the very least, don't have an OnlyFans link in their bio. You can't filter.
High standards, bro.
At the very least.
I think guys definitely got to get out there.
Miami, actually, for Miami and Medellin, those are. You've already separated yourself from 80-90% of the women by not having an OnlyFans. I mean, out of how many girls on your show on average do OnlyFans? I mean, it's out of control.
A lot. There's 30, at least if we got 10 girls, at least 2 or 3 of them do it.
But you see that how that be a smart approach. You're throwing parties, you're building your networking skills, you're providing value, you're maybe making money from the parties. There's guys and girls. You're just being social in general.
Makes sense.
And then you can kind of have the best of both worlds. You're not wasting time on hoes, but you are actively lifting weights for your social muscles by creating that.
Makes sense. And let's be honest, man, beautiful women, virtuous women are one of the most highly sought after things that men
Today's
want.
Day and age,
and throughout history, how many presidents, how many kings have lost their empires because of a pretty lady? So if you're the sort of guy who's comfortable around pretty ladies, there's definite utility there. I see that. Definitely.
Yeah. No, I think it's definitely important to, because the thing is, a lot of guys are socially weird and strange, and they can't pick up cues. So they got to get out there and talk to people, men, women, be social to a degree. Because the thing is, if you just stay inside all the time and you just do nothing but work, and you don't talk to people, then you're going to be very socially strange. And then people are going to think you're a weirdo. You're not going to be able to attract a girl because
video games.
Yeah, you got to get out there and still talk to people. And guys, it could be as simple as just talking to someone in the elevator and generating a conversation. It could be as you could talk to a woman without it being sexual. You could just start up a conversation, have it going, practice on that, and then bam. And then the point is that you don't want analysis by paralysis, where you see an attractive girl or you see someone and you can't even carry a conversation because you're so nervous. You want to be in a position where, number one, you're able to talk to people. Number two, you don't put women on a pedestal. And a good way to do that is by talking to them all the time. And then you'll be like, okay, I'm desensitized to this. I can do this. And then boom, there you go.
But I was just going to say casual
But I like
sex.
the differing opinions here. This is great. This is great discussion.
Casual sex is one of the most destructive things to society. Men, we get the privilege of not letting it corrupt your soul because it doesn't have the same effect. But for women, the more penis she's had, the more corrupted she becomes. It's like it takes away at her soul every single pump. It makes it kills her. And we've all had this situation before where you've been with virgins before, right? You see a virgin in front of you, she's innocent, she's beautiful, and you're like, I got a virgin, and you kind of rub your hands together like Satan, because you know what you're doing inherently deep down is bad. Because what you're doing is you're taking a bit of away. Now you are attaching her soul to yours forever. For you don't care. As soon as you're done, you pull up your pants, you walk out of the room. But in that moment, she is tied to you for the rest of your life. And you know that you're just there for 5 seconds. And we've had that moment, and I've done it before. I mean, I'm trying to be better. But you look at this girl, and you're like, right now I could ruin her, or I can do the right thing. And you do end up ruining her because she knows that she's giving away her innocence forever. Now she's let her marriage material, her value is intrinsically lower for the rest of her life. It's never something you can get back. Men, it doesn't matter. Women don't care how many bodies you have, but you are taking away a girl's innocence the more you have casual sex with her. And you know deep down that you don't care about her at all, and she's deeply in love with you. It's really sick.
Well, that's part of the reason why I don't really believe in dating, and I don't date. I think and I've actually been in situations where I've seen a good girl, been across the dinner table and gone, you know what? I don't have the intention of taking care of you forever, so I'm not going to get sexual with you, because that would lessen your ability to find a man you can then respect and submit to and build a happy family and be a happy person. I've disengaged just out of the fact that I don't want to break a person, because I think it's very real, especially if you're a masculine guy and you leave that solid imprint on a girl. Man, she's going to be stuck on you forever. We all have those girls still chasing us now, because
Alpha widow.
It's real. So I think pursuing casual sex, especially with good girls, I think there's a negative impact on her and on society as a result.
I think I mentioned this last time too, not to brag or anything, but I have a lot of followers here in Medellin. I have like 12K followers on one of my accounts, and I have another one with many thousands of followers. Yeah. And I'm in a very easy dating market, so I'm not trying to brag like Billy badass or anything. But if I post on my Instagram, hey, I'm trying to get dinner tonight, who'd like to come get dinner with me? I'll have 40 DMs of girls, and maybe 15 of them will be smoke shows. They'll be really, really fucking hot. But the reason why I don't do it, I'm not constantly going on all these dates with these women, is because I don't want to put my penis in any more women, regardless of how hot they are, if I don't at least like them, kind of. Like, put it this way, like,
all right.
You remember the Lil Wayne verse? It's like as soon as I come to my senses. Yeah. Like we've all think she's so interesting.
Moment of clarity.
So funny, she's so smart, and then you nut, and you're like, oh, I just want this bitch to leave. If I even think that like after I nut, I would just want her to get out immediately, and I couldn't just stand to be around her. I just prefer not to nut in her in the first place.
Good, fair enough. That's a good assessment.
That's how you find the girls that you love, though. Like you nut, and then
you don't want them to leave right away.
Right, and then you're like, oh, I don't mind if you stay here for 5 seconds, and like you can actually cuddle and not fake it.
Seconds.
But wouldn't it be fair to say that you got to go through a bunch of annoying girls to be able to come to that point where you really have that abundance mindset where you can finally say that?
I would say so.
Playing devil's advocate here, guys.
I mean, it's a tricky one.
I like the different takes here.
I'm a revert to Islam, and so I have engaged in hedonism for long enough to realize that it's a waste of time. To those to the brothers who have grown up Muslim, I don't really know what the solution is for them to get the experience in the modern context, in the Western context, to know what they need to do to hold frame, to screen for, that's a good woman, that's not bad. I think in Muslim countries, if you're a traditionally Muslim man and you find a traditionally Muslim woman and your families, agree, I think that's a good way to do it. But I also appreciate that that's not really accessible for most men in the West. So I'm not the man with the answers, bro, when it comes to how to do this in the West.
I personally think the abundance mindset applies to most people, but it's not the ideal way. And the reason that applies to most people is because we get corrupted at a really young age from things like social pressure, porn, from trying to compete with other guys at a young age. I think. You
think guys have the abundance mindset though? I think most guys have the scarcity mindset.
Massively.
The reason guys need to have, most guys will gravitate towards the abundance mindset instead of just harvesting incel power is because.
You mean the scarcity mindset?
I don't.
Abundance, like for example, like you guys are at a point now where you can say, I don't want to have sex with this girl because I want to like her. A lot of guys will just be like, I just need to bust a nut. I need to bust a nut. I need to bust a nut. But you have the ability to be like, I don't even want to fuck. Like you have options because you're an attractive guy.
Instead of you couldn't have a scarcity mindset and just be like, okay, I don't need to do this. I'm just gonna wait till marriage. But a lot of guys need to. I need to have sex. I need to have sex because your skull gets corrupted at a young age from things like porn, from social pressure, from like competing with other guys, competing about how old you're gonna lose your virginity at, from basing your male power based on how many girls you're having, which is really like a lot of men will base their value based on how many girls they can get, which is really gay. Like, is that really the greatest accomplishment you can have as a man? What we're supposed to do is conquer the world, is to add value. A man is only valued based on how much he adds to the world. A gentleman is only respected for giving more than he takes. And so if you're just measuring your self-worth based on women, which a lot of guys fall into the trap really young, it is happening more and more because of porn, because of the hip-hop culture, what's on TV, you're going to be like, I'm horny, I need to go sleep with a girl. But so that's why the abundance mindset does apply to most people. But if we had more religion and we had more people focused and ignoring all of that until they're at the age where they're actually ready to be married, we wouldn't need that. So it is. I understand the red pill philosophy, and that's the most realistic approach. But
You want to have an abundance mindset.
You need to. But
And how you get there, there's multiple ways. You can be, you've had sex with too many whores, and you're annoyed by them, and you're like, fuck this shit, or hookers, whatever the fuck you want to do, right? Or you have religion, right, which keeps you on the path, and you have that abundance mindset because you're fulfilled by God. You don't need women. Right, so you have that abundance.
That's a better fit.
There's better way. There's multiple ways to get to the abundance mindset. Some guys do it through religion. Some guys do it through experience by having had sex with a bunch of girls. But yeah, the point is, I think the bottom line is, as a man, you need to get to a point where you have an abundance mindset, where you're able to turn away women. I think that's the bottom line is you need to be able to turn away women. How you get there is up to you. It's a personal journey.
I think it also takes years. How are you really going to be that high value man with abundance of women, all these things, when you're 20? It takes decades to build wealth and value as a man. And okay, we talk about that made man vibe where you just walk in the room, people know you're the made man. You can't fake that. You've got to get your money right, your fitness right, you've got to travel, got to conquer. It does take a lot of time to become that man who's naturally confident and abundant. I think a lot of young guys want that now. You've got to go out and build who you are as a man first. There's no hack to that.
Yeah,
Run through hose.
That is most definitely not what I was insinuating.
We'll keep going with the things, and then we'll read the ones that came in before, but then we'll from this point forward, like I said before, we'll read 50 and up. But the ones that came in from
Colombian
before.
Red Bull is good, man. I'm cooking.
You got it, Warner?
Man,
Oh, yeah,
it's hitting me. I got the shakes, bro.
There's extra chemicals, yeah.
Shout
They
out
put
to
it like-
Colombian Red
All
Bull.
right.
What's in that?
This podcast is sponsored by Vive Cien.
No. But what do they put in that? I know it's Colombia. Do they have a special ingredient?
I'm sure they do.
I'm fighting allegations
I'm sure
right now.
there's
Oh,
something
hang
that's
on.
banned in the States.
Well, it's making my hand shake.
You're vibrating.
I would not be able to shoot a pistol very well right now.
Go ahead, bro.
It's known for the land of stimulants, so.
Okay,
so we got-
What do we got? Yeah.
Okay, so we got DeAndre 199 shooter looking like Casey's pops.
He is my
That's
dad.
funny. That's actually
How old are
funny.
you, bro?
35.
Oh, okay, I was 6 when he was born. Can't pull that up. Sorry.
Big brother. All right. What else?
Okay, so then we have Ace, Myron, you and Shooter do a pod on self-defense, combat, firearms, and security intelligence.
We could do that.
I mean, I can go down the rabbit hole and that sort of stuff if there's demand for it. Sure, that's my day job.
Yeah, we could
If-
definitely
if
do that.
People want to hear it for sure.
So we got Fresh Prince CEO with the $99 super chat. El
paid himself.
Coco, one word.
What did he say? He said, "El what?"
El Coco.
This guy, El Fresh, I'm running your show right now, bum. What are you in traffic? What are you stuttering in traffic right now? Come on your show.
Hang on a sec.
Welcome for
Here we
carrying
go.
right now.
Hang on a sec. Wouldn't Fresh be making money from this?
Yes, he is. Give me that $99, Fresh. Fucking bum.
So he's making money thanks to you because he didn't get here on time and he's insulting you?
No,
Bro,
that's an L. Sorry, bro. That's an L.
He paid
Hey,
himself.
run to the chat if the show's better without Fresh right now. No, because he's trying to come on, man. No. Real talk. You gonna come at me? Oh, come on, man.
It's fine. Here's the thing for the chat.
Run to the chat if nothing was missed
Just so
without
you guys
Fresh here.
know, Fresh and SNEAKO are fight all day. Like literally, all they do is talk shit to each other.
That's a
It's
lot of
fucking
ones, though.
hilarious.
That's a lot of ones, Fresh.
Oh my god, that's all they do is talk shit to each other, man. All right,
That's brotherhood, though. That's all I do is talk shit.
yeah, and you lived with Fresh for a bit, so
Yeah,
yeah,
2 years.
yeah. So
So we got Stoicism, 10 pounds. Should I be traveling with my boys if they're not working as hard as me and don't have the same drive as I do? Should I travel or just continue working and training?
Find the right brothers. Get the right brothers around you. You can do that in fight clubs. You can do that anywhere men are being disciplined. You can get that in groups like the War Room or the CEO Network. You need to find the right brothers. It's very hard to do that manually. It's same with Tinder if you're dating women. If you wanted to go and meet or find good women, it's hard to do it just manually face to face. Tinder makes it easier, right? For me, the groups where high value men gravitate to, that is that concentration of quality men. It's vetted for you. Get into a brotherhood of quality men. You'll find your brothers there. Travel with them.
And that's
Easy.
the number one most important thing in your life is your friends and your network and your brotherhood.
Yeah, the brotherhood's real.
So we got various layers, Big Bossing and CEO Network. Have
Shout
a
out to you,
great
bro.
evening, sirs.
and shout out to the CEO Network, guys. It's open, so jump in there.
Okay, then we got Razor 39T.
Can you show the chat on screen, by the way?
Okay,
Click
sure,
it and
sure,
show it
sure.
on screen.
Absolutely, I got
Okay.
you, brother.
And this is Warner reading the chats right now. Shout out to Warner.
Yeah, shout out to Warner in the
Warner.
back.
Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys. If you aren't traveling with the boys and by yourself with your nuclear family and without security, you could also notify your country's embassy in the country you're traveling to if need be. Diplomatic security agent. RICO.
Please let me speak to that with respect. So, as somebody who's been in numerous situations where countries have gone to civil unrest, war, break, you name it, earthquakes. Government's ability to respond is a bit of a myth. Do not rely on your government to save you if you're in trouble. Yes, the American machine is huge, and yes, there are high-profile cases where they have assisted. A lot of the time, embassies and governments will reach out to the private sector, people like me, because they just don't have the capability to deal with major incidents. So don't go thinking your government's going to save you on your travel. I wouldn't travel like that.
That's a good state. I like that.
Beautiful. Then we got Fresh Prince CEO again.
Can you bring the mic closer to you, bro, so they can hear?
Hey, Fresh, there's still ones coming in from 10 minutes ago.
So we got Fresh Prince CEO again with a $99 super chat. Lifo blew into a club in Colombia. Haram or halal?
What?
What did he say? What?
He said Lifo blew into a club in Colombia. Halal or haram?
As I understand it, as long as you're not drinking, there's nothing wrong with being in a nightclub as a Muslim.
Actually, you're not supposed to go to clubs and because the music is loud and playing. It's still, I mean, it's not complete haram, but you should not.
He's a new Muslim, guys. Give him a break, bro. He's a new Muslim. Okay.
You see the amount of scrutiny. That's why I think a lot of guys feel the pressure to not revert to a religion or to come back because the amount of maybe it's because I'm a public figure, but you see the angles of it. I know Fresh is joking, but the amount of scrutiny that I'm under, everybody trying to find, you're a grifter, you're a liar. I've been praying. I haven't missed a Jumu'ah prayer one Friday for months. We've been doing Dawa with Warner in San Diego. But
Stop drinking?
Yeah, stop drinking. No, I've really been, there's no point in trying to justify it, but I think that this, seeing what's happening to me on a big scale is why a lot of people who are private don't choose to revert to a religion because they're afraid of the scrutiny or the criticism from their peers, for immediately people thinking that they're lying to some extent. But I think for anybody who's questioning it right now, take your shahada. It's baby steps. When you revert to Islam, in the Quran, it says you're not supposed to immediately, they don't expect you to immediately become perfect. It takes time. They don't expect anybody to immediately become perfect. So take your shahada and your life will improve.
And also, there's a lot of support from the Ummah, from the global community of Muslims when you do revert. How many people have talked to you, given you advice, given you gifts, welcomed you to the masjid? You do get a lot of support when you revert. I can understand that's intimidating for a lot of people. And yes, if you're a public figure, you will get a lot of criticism, a lot of people coming at you. But there's also a lot of support. There's a lot of brotherhood within Islam. It's real. It's powerful.
Yeah. All right.
The people that have never criticized me, really, and I know people talk about the Haram police, the Muslim Brotherhood has been the most supportive out of any group, out of any type of community on the internet. Every Muslim that I've interacted with, they've been shaking my hand. They're saying, I'm really proud of you. Every time I walk to them, bump into them in public, they say, Salam alaikum. They're saying, I'm glad you're on a good path. They're proud. I haven't received any criticism from the Islamic community.
Nice.
Mashallah.
I like it, man.
Come to the masjid, man.
Yeah.
Oh, look, guys, in 20 minutes,
it's
it's Maghrib prayer. Let's pray together.
Okay.
Our man Warner leads it beautifully. Let's do that.
All right.
All right. What do we?
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, man.
Oh, you're looking at me?
Yeah. Come on, brother. Let's do it.
And as SNEAKO said, Islam, you don't have to be perfect to become a Muslim. Islam is here to perfect you, and Islam solves all problems. So next one is Sean Elder. 1999. Where's the after party? I'm out here in Medellin too. So then
You got to hit Casey up on that. He's running that thing. All right.
okay,
what
we
else?
got Tio Costa. FNF, you guys are changing lives. Thank you.
Thank you.
Then we got Dr. Durden, 1999. There's no such thing as incel pill, SNEAKO. It's called MGTOW.
Okay. That's what I mentioned before.
Whatever.
Men going their own way, but it's
That red pill dictionary. I mean, there's
a
green
lot of
pill,
terms.
purple pill, blue pill, red. I can't.
We're just messing around, but guys who are being autistic about what pill it is actually you sound more like an incel than me. But.
if you correct somebody's red pill vocabulary, you are officially.
Well,
an incel.
actually, it's a MGTOW. Bro, go outside.
all right. What else?
Okay, so we got Tio Casto again. Yo, SNEAKO, nice seeing you visiting the country, bro.
Hey, man, what's up?
Then we got Emmanuel Christian, $20. Or follow the Black Plague. Stop giving attention to women who have 6+ body counts and let those women die alone or be miserably saddled by beta men.
Facts.
After 3 generations of sad women, the 4th and 5th generation will change behavior.
No, he got the number wrong. Everything he said was right. Instead of 6, put it to 1.
All right.
So 3 Diglets, $10. I'm not looking for longevity. I'm looking for MDMA.
Okay.
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 Cap, man. Just stop. Why would you believe? You watch this show too much to believe what the. Okay.
Guys, don't take drugs. MDMA is not. No, don't do it. What
Okay,
else?
so we got full we Todd. It's ironic that all the men that argue against spinning plates actually practice spinning plates. So you have to spin plates so you are both tired of spinning and you are able to pick the best women because you spun plates.
Incorrect. I know men who have not spun plates in the Islamic context and have incredible wives. So that's categorically incorrect. I'm regretful of the fact that I spun plates for so long because I wasted a lot of time. So there are many ways to find healthy, positive relationships. You do not need to be out there engaging in countless amounts of hedonism and meaningless, society-damaging sex in order to find a healthy relationship or relationships in the Islamic context, at least.
Islamic. Okay.
And then we got Dr. Durden. There's nothing done involuntary. That is done from a position of strength.
Okay.
Okay, next we have Groundhog, $20. Yo, Myron, and tell people, especially conservatives, to stop tearing Andrew Tate down at this point because there is nothing that will come out about him nobody knows about.
It just became popular, especially right after the Tucker Carlson interview. I think it was pretty obvious because that's like the biggest interview of all time. All the conservatives jump on the bandwagon.
How many people watched it? Like so crazy.
It's like 90 million right now. But all the conservatives are jumping on the Tate hate bandwagon, not because they actually care. It's not this big moral grandstanding for conservative values, because they were all supporting him when it was popular to support him. Everybody wants a bit of clout now. Everybody wants to do it when it's popular. So now everybody who was silent is jumping right when it's cool because they can get a bunch of engagement. So don't believe these people. It's going to pass. That's what happens when you reach new levels. It happens to all of us here. Whenever you succeed more, whenever you level up in life, there's going to be people who try to latch on and bring you back down. But as long as you're able to surpass that, then you become a stronger man.
If you don't have haters, you're not living right.
It's true.
So now we got Mateo, $9.99. Imagine seeing a debate between Myron and Tate.
What's the debate
Not
about?
much to debate about. Yeah.
It'd be an agreement fest rather
Yeah,
than a
I
debate.
agree with Andrew on like 99% of things, man. Like,
Blaze Fest now.
yeah.
All right, cool. We got Kelsey, 20 pounds. Thoughts on Kevin Tobias bringing his Bugatti to Colombia?
No thoughts. I don't really know him. That's Fresh's buddy.
Yeah, just be careful.
Yeah, you gotta
Okay,
be careful.
then we
Higher
have,
security.
then we have,
Yeah, no, 50 and up. And then, what was that?
you want him to answer the Bugatti thing? Or?
No,
I did.
That's fine.
Yeah,
We'll move on. He was just
higher
making a
security.
comment.
That's it. That's my answer.
Yeah.
He can bring his Bugatti, but just be careful in higher
Yeah.
security. That's it. That's
All right, what
Okay,
else?
shout out Anwar Martin. Shout out to the 4 Muslims in the room.
All right.
Look who came crawling back. 3 Diglets, $50 super chat.
Okay.
Then we got, yeah, that's it for the $50 super chat.
Caught up? All right, cool. So I know, I guess I'll just turn it to y'all. Last thoughts or last comments or anything like that, because I know you guys got to run out of here. With
Literally
beautiful
run.
Medellin background.
I'm enjoying Colombia so far. It's great to travel and get new experiences. I do want to give a quick thank you to Sartorial Shooter. I've learned a lot being around you for the past couple months. We've been like almost all over the world. We were in Thailand. I met you in Dubai. You were in Miami recently, and now Colombia. So I have picked up a lot of lessons from you, and it's been good to travel. And like, thank you again for everything.
Appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
No, it's a pleasure as well. Old friends and new friends.
Yeah.
Great to meet you, man.
Yeah, great to meet you guys.
Heard a lot
Instant
about you from
connection.
Fresh.
Yeah, all bad things, I hope. Yeah, it's been great to host these guys. They've provided massive value to me by sharing their platform, so thank you. Even though Myron's a homosexual, I still love him for sharing the platform with me. We have a raging party about to take place, and Sartorial Shooter better be there. Otherwise, suspicions of
I'm
homosexuality.
not so good with parties, bro. Like I've lost my patience for these things, man. That's long gone. But look, I'll be there to talk
maybe
I'll be
come
there
in
to
for a
talk to the men. How about that?
There we go. There we go. You're fair. I would expect no less.
See, watch out though. That's Matrix stuff. There is no shame in strong brotherhood. Anyone who wants to say, "Oh, they're fags," that's this blue pill
I'm just
Matrix
talking
nonsense.
shit. Brotherhood, you talk shit. That's my
Yeah,
favorite.
gays talk a lot of shit.
Last thing, shameless plug. Redbeard Rants. I'm a new YouTuber. 500 subs in 1 month. Not too bad for a new
1K
YouTuber.
on the way.
Yeah, exactly. 1K celebration party.
Yeah, go subscribe to him, guys. Support him.
Yeah, Redbeard Rants on YouTube. And if you want to contact me, you can find my information, and it'll be in the description, I guess. And if you want me to run your dating apps and make your type of girl magically fall out of the sky into your lap, I can do that for you.
I mean, that's a lot more efficient than being out there and beating the streets yourself. I see the sense in that. So yeah, just gratitude and respect, guys. Big gratitude to Warner, who led prayer earlier today. It was really beautiful. I'd like to do more of that, man. Gratitude to the platform that you guys run. I'd say Fresh and Fit are probably amongst the top most loyal guys when it comes to standing up for Tate when the heat was there. And you didn't have to do that. You're on a platform where I think it did cause you a lot of trouble. You did that. So massive respect to you and you as well, SNEAKO. Anyone who stands up for their brother when their brother, when in their time of need has got my respect. So big respect to you guys. Thanks for the local knowledge here in Colombia. I value that, man. And yeah, also all respect. I want to say this. I know there's a lot of young men watching this. All respect to the young men out there who are saying no to hedonism and are choosing, whether it's practicing their faith or staying disciplined or staying on their grind. I mean, SNEAKO, you're a good example of that. There's so much temptation out there. There's so much nonsense. Any young man who rejects all of that and focuses on being the best man he can be has got my respect. I hope to see you, that sort of man, join the war room. That's what we exist for. So a bit of a shout out there. And yeah, thanks again, guys. Very grateful to be here. Appreciate it.
No, man, I'm happy to have you guys. And thank you for taking the time out your day to come here, guys. We ran a little bit late or whatever, but, we had to...
Fresh people time.
So, no, guys, all the guys, I'm going to put all their channels and stuff down below, their Instagrams and social medias. Go check them out. Rumble.com/SNEAKO.
Casey Redbeard on YouTube. Rumble. Rumble's really turning up.
Yeah.
Rumble's the place, man. Shout out to Rumble.
And, shout out to Rumble, man. I want to say that real quick because they may get some heat and everything else like that. Understand, guys, that's pretty much the last platform where you're going to get free speech, man. And they're signing a bunch of big creators. Rumble is the fucking future, man. It really is.
Yeah, buy stock in Rumble.
And also there's real value there. You look at platforms like Kick, which are pushing gambling on children.
Yeah.
Where you have lead guys on Kick who are admitting openly they're having substance abuse problems. Terrible role modeling. The ethos behind Rumble is real. The CEO is a real soldier for free speech. Massive respect to Rumble. I think anyone who truly cares about free speech, about truth, about standing up against all the Matrix nonsense, has to get themselves an account and be active on Rumble. Seriously, incredible platform. Much respect.
Yeah, seriously. Because
follow me on Rumble.
He's getting a lot of heat. Yeah.
267. I want to get to 500K.
Yeah.
But Kick, I think you missed out a lot of it too. A lot of it has that stuff that's corrupting souls. They have like just girls flopping around in the shower and in hot tubs.
I've never seen it, so
literally the most
Kick?
degenerate part. Yeah, it's the same. It's basically.
And they're naked?
Yes, it's a funnel to OnlyFans. I mean, they're wearing like bikinis and stuff, but yeah, it's just the most degenerate parts of Twitch.
It's funny. So they let the girls go on there naked, but they said even on their thing that they're not going to be free speech.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy?
Because free speech.
They let girls be whores, but they're no free speech.
And Rumble is all about free speech. So they're knowingly taking an advertiser hit because they care about the truth. So
they're walking the walk, man.
They really are.
Yeah, and they're getting a lot of heat for it too. Anything else, Warner, as far as chats that came in or anything, or no? Cool. Guys, hope you guys enjoyed this special episode of Fresh and Fit here in Colombia. We were going to have some girls for y'all, man, but,
I kind of vetoed that.
Yeah, we were like, screw it, man. We'll just do a show with the bros instead. I think you guys gain more value. Huh?
One was probably enough.
Yeah, well, if it were up to me, I would do too. But
you can visit me in Brazil, or you're welcome here anytime. I can get more, so.
Yeah, that's fine. And shout out to Casey, actually, for making the last night's show happen, man. If it weren't for him, we wouldn't have had the Love Ladies show.
Pleasure.
So shout out to him, man. This guy's the connection. But yeah, guys, check us out, rumble.com/freshfit. And then more importantly, fuck our shit. Support these guys, man. Go check them out on their YouTubes, Twitters, Rumble. Some of them are canceled, so make sure to go check them out, guys.
Hey.
We'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Fun being on YouTube on a platform banned on.
Yeah, isn't it great?
Hey. YouTube a lot for being bad.
Hey, Susan. Yeah.
Here. And I'll hit the outro music. So, I didn't show Warner how to do it. So, we're breaking a third wall right now. So I'm gonna run in the back.
Fourth wall.
Is it the third or the fourth?
Fourth wall.
You went to school for this stuff, didn't you?
There's 3 walls and there's 4 walls in a room. If you break 3 walls, it's a triangle.
Okay, so it's breaking the fourth walls when you.
Yes.
Okay, like the movie Deadpool.
How did this conversation become so autistic? I don't know.
Can you break the wall now?
Yeah. I'll break the wall. Guys, love y'all. I'll catch you guys on the next episode.